consulting services throughout the refinery and petrochemical industries. When it comes to safety and quality, Action Industries beats the industry standard. Call today or visit actionindinc.com. That's actionindinc.com.
There's a place in Baton Rouge where off-road dreams come true. It's called Total Off-Road and More, and it's the best place to get lifts, wheels, bed covers, window tints, and more. Elevate your ride at Total Off-Road and More off Airline Highway or online at totaloffroad.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Friday, March 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of 80. In hour one of today's show, we'll preview the LSU-Mississippi State SEC Weekend Series coming up and recap LSU's loss yesterday in the SEC Tournament. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now. Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, everybody? Friday, March 15th, 2024. Hope you're having a great Friday. Very excited. Weekend is here. SEC baseball is here. We got spring ball going on. Selection Sunday coming up. A ton to get to on today's show. Taylor went to Savannah Bananas last night. I'm very excited to hear about that. We'll kind of give you our own in-game bit. It's going to be a fun Friday show, as it always is. Now, no Jake Hester today. He is on assignment up in the 318, taking care of some stuff. And no Rivs today either. So it's going to be me, Alondra, and Taylor carrying you through the show today. And I wasn't sure if I was going to mention this off the top, but here we are. I think it's impossible for me not to. It might be a bit of a weird show for me. I think that I'm looking forward to work as a kind of distraction right now because after the show, I'm going to have to go put down my my cat that I've had for 15 years now. Just got him back in college back in 2009. So, I mean, whatever. I'll probably talk about it more a bit later in the show. But I don't know. I didn't plan on saying this, but I feel like I have to address it because it's kind of like just bubbling under the surface constantly. And it's okay, guys. I don't want to, I don't want to hear anything like, it's okay, whatever. But I'm just letting everyone know, but I'm glad for the distraction of sports and being able to break down what promises to be a very exciting weekend. Right, real quick before we dive into the baseball, Taylor, how was the Bananas last night? You have your party animal shirt on.
Yeah, so Victoria went with the banana shirt. I was like, you know what? I'm going to rock the party animals. I like the highlighter pink, the highlighter yellow.
Animals.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was a great time. They got the entire game in under 2 hours, and that's with musical numbers and dance lines.
And that's
mixed
like one of
between.
their things, right? Like that was one of the core statements from when they started was in and out.
They got some
family entertainment.
Yeah, some of the wacky rules. It's like you can't step out of the batter's box. So like once you step in, if you step out, which makes a lot of sense, it's a strike against you if you step out of the batter's box. No mound visits whatsoever. No bunting. So I mean, it was exciting.
Did you catch a foul ball to get an out? That is one of my favorite rules.
A fan did catch a foul ball. Dude. Yeah.
Now help me out here. Is this full Globetrotters and Washington Generals where the party animals always lose? Or are
no, the party animals won last night.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they are legitimately playing the game within the framework of their wacky subset of rules.
Yeah, and I think they had their records up or whatever, and like the party animals actually have a better record.
Wait, so the Party Animals have a winning record against the Bananas?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like their little world tour that they're doing, they've won like more of the games apparently.
Bro, I feel like the Bananas got to get together. Did you see more fan support for the Bananas or the Party Animals?
Oh, definitely the Bananas. I mean, I had to get this particular shirt outside the stadium. They had like one Party Animals booth and like everything else was Savannah Bananas. Yeah.
Oh man, no respect for the Party Animals.
They were cool. I mean, they all wear sunglasses, the sleeveless uniforms. You know, like it was fun.
How was Alec Box? It was packed.
It's the most packed I've seen it in a long time.
Hell yeah,
it was rocking.
That's very cool. What a great way to set the baseball tone for the weekend. I haven't looked at an updated weather forecast, but here's hoping it holds off for the rest of the Bananas and for St. Patty's Day. And I think even Starkville's maybe supposed to get some rain today. My neighbors tell me there's some chatter about potentially making that into a doubleheader on Saturday. So we will see. All right. So I told you yesterday, but for the next 4 days, me and all my homies hate the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And unfortunately, last night, Mississippi State wins the first leg of the Tiger Bulldog Classic, right? You had the SEC tournament game, now straight into a weekend full of baseball. And real quick on yesterday's basketball game, you have a lead at half, and then you get dominated the second half. Look, man, you're not going to win an important game shooting, 38% overall, 35 in the second half, and losing the turnover battle 18-12. It's just not going to happen. Now, granted, look, Mississippi State are they a tournament team or are they on the bubble? I know they're potentially.
They're on the bubble right now.
Do you think they'll get in?
If they win another game, they will.
Okay. So, I mean, they are objectively the better team and have been all year long. Still disappointing to have a lead in the manner that you did and end up losing that game. I don't want to spend a ton of time on the basketball game. Again, it was a very positive season for the Tigers. Like we mentioned yesterday, nobody in the major 6 conferences made a bigger jump, save for South Carolina. So the literal second most improved team in conference play in the entire country were your LSU Tigers. So don't let yesterday's loss loom too large. But yeah, in that second half, outside of Trey Hannibal, nobody could get anything going. Taylor, what were your takeaways from yesterday's game?
Well, we talked about it yesterday. Towards the end of the show, like, what are some of the key factors? And we talked about the three-point shooting from Tyrell Ward. It just was not there. And it wasn't just him. I mean, you struggled shooting from the outside really all game. The offensive rebounds, the second chance points from Mississippi State really hurt you. That's been an issue for this team a lot of the season, even though I thought Hunter Dean actually played a pretty good game yesterday. He came off the bench. I thought he gave you solid minutes, but you gave up too many second chance points. You couldn't hit the threes because they went on a run and hit like 3 threes in like 5 possessions. Yeah. You couldn't match it, and you weren't matching that all game. It's just you could not get the big stops when you needed to.
No. And so, that's all true for regular season. NIT, potentially, for this LSU Tiger team, we will see. All right, let's look forward to this weekend of baseball. And let's start. Well, actually, first off, I want to start here because not only is it time for revenge for that basketball game yesterday, this weekend in Duty Noble, but it's also time for revenge for what Mississippi State did to you last year. And it's interesting. I went to look this up because I wanted to remember, okay, how did this all go down last year? Well, the week before, you had lost a series to Auburn in which your bullpen had let you down. Then you have Mississippi State at home. It is not a good Mississippi State team, right? And so you think, okay, we're going to right the ship, get back to the ways. It's all going to be good. And if you think back, in the second game, you had a big lead. I think it was somewhere along the lines of 5-2. And then your bullpen allowed a 6-run 8th inning. You end up losing game number 2. You're now tied 1 game apiece going into Sunday. And do you remember the Sunday game at all, Taylor Laundrie? Anybody? Do you remember this? You were up 13-4.
Yeah, you collapsed at the
You were dominating them, right? And so it was all going to be good. Like, yeah, you lost series to Auburn. That's okay. Here you are, 13-4 rubber match. You're going to get the series back. And then you watch that lead disappear in the 6th and 7th inning thanks to your bullpen once again. And if you think back to, and it feels so long ago now, but LSU going into the SC tournament, going to the NCAA tournament, the thought was that the bullpen was too weak to get you through. It makes the heroic performances of Ackenhausen and Griffin Herring and Gavin Guidry and all those guys even more impressive, because at this point, it felt like that was going to be the Achilles heel on maybe a team that featured the best lineup that we'd ever seen. So they broke you last year in a bad way. They caused you a ton of pain, and they did it in your house. Okay? Well, now's the time for revenge. You have a chance to do the same thing to them opening weekend in Duty Noble. And you know that place is sold out. You know it's going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be at night. Make them hurt the same way that they made you hurt. Make them insecure. I mean, you're talking about 2 of the last 3 national champions here squaring up. And when you look at this Mississippi State baseball team, they're hot right now. They've won 10 of their last 11 over that stretch. An offense that was struggling early on has hit 311. They've got 11 home runs in those games, 25 doubles. They've got 19 of 20 stolen bases, so they've been running the bases a lot. And really, unlike last year, this is a Mississippi State team that has actually led from the mound. Right now, this Bulldog team has the 6th best strikeout-to-walk ratio in the entire country.
Their ace is out.
Yes. The starting pitching has been multiple orders of magnitude better this year. Nate Daum on Friday nights has been fantastic. Kai Steven is probably the best newcomer on the team. And then how do you, is it Ciente? Gerangelo Ciente. Alondra, perhaps you can help me out. It's Cijntje.
I don't think that's Hispanic.
It's not Hispanic?
I think you nailed
the J's made me think it was potentially Hispanic.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
But he's the young phenom who's ambidextrous, who can actually pitch right or left-handed.
Yeah.
And he's probably their best stuff guy, but you're not going to see him till Sunday. Now,
does he wear a glove?
I don't actually know.
Because that would actually give away which hand he's pitching with. But if you don't have a glove.
Well, no, aren't there ambidextrous gloves?
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen baseball players that are in the past has ambidextrous gloves. So I'm pretty sure that's what he would have. But as Alondra alluded to, though, really tough break to start the series for Mississippi State as their Friday night ace, Nate Daum, who's 3-0. He's got a 1.50 ERA. He is not available this weekend. And, sometimes I would sarcastically say you hate to see it, but I actually do hate to see this. Yeah. I want to see this LSU team tested against the best. I want to see this lineup goes against other teams' aces. I think that leads to growth. I think that's a good thing. Unfortunately for Nate Daum, Chris Lamone is saying that he felt a zing, in his elbow, and that while they don't think it's too serious, it's early on, and they're obviously going to err on the side of caution. So in his place, you're going to get Evan Seary starting, and, well, it's not gone good for Evan this year. In fact, none of his 4 outings have lasted longer than 2 innings. So if you're the Bulldogs, well, you still feel good about Kai Steven on Saturday, you still feel good about Gerangelo on Sunday. It's a really rough-looking game 1 where LSU is going to have Luke Holman, who hasn't allowed a run yet on the year and appears to be one of the better pitchers in the entire country. And you have a guy that hasn't gone over 2 innings, which is potentially impactful because, as I said, Mississippi State's pitching's been way better, but it's mainly been because of the starting pitching. So do you have a situation here where if LSU's bats get to Seary early the same way that everybody has that's played him this year, how deep do you have to go in that pin game 1? Or are you willing to almost concede and just give up runs and just get outs by using as little arms as possible, right? Like, I don't think you're going to use your best bullpen arms here. I think you almost have to just kind of accept your fate here in game number 1. Now, it is SEC play, and you never know. Crazier things have happened, right? But Friday night, looking very good for the Tigers. And we can get into Saturday and Sunday.
So I feel like I remember that we faced Seary last season, and I think I remember us working him. So I went to go look it up. Last season when we faced him, he had 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs, And if all 5 of those runs were earned. So
literally what he's done every outing this year.
Right.
Has not made it past that 2-inning mark.
No, and then they went to the pen to tap Brock Tapper for 3 innings, and then Hardin Tyson closed it out for an inning.
So again, love the matchup Friday night. In game number 2, Gage Jump appears to be, another guy, 0 ERA, 21 Ks, just 2 walks. But Kai Steven is somebody or is it Cal? Cal Steven. Cal Steven is somebody that you don't want to take too lightly. 2-1 in the year, 3.38 ERA, but in 21 innings pitched, 26 Ks to only 4 walks. And really, again, that is this entire Mississippi State staff. 6th best strikeout to walk ratio in the entire country. And then Sunday's going to be a battle between Thatcher Hurd and Durangelo, with Durangelo actually coming into the game with the better numbers than that of Thatcher Hurd. All right, let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, I still got a few more elements about this Mississippi State team to get to. Then I kind of want to get into the SEC as a whole, baseball-wise. Who has really shined in this preseason, you could almost call it. I thought it was funny when we talked to Jay yesterday. He said preseason. Did you catch that? He didn't say pre-conference report, he said preseason, which in many ways, that's what it is before the SEC starts. Only that it does matter for RPI and stuff. But we'll see, okay, who are the new names in the SEC? Who's the best hitter? Who's the most improved team? Who's the best pitcher? And then, look, if you want to get involved, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. You can go there and get all your takes in, and we'll get to the best ones. Also, guys, hit the like button if you want to help us, and sub to this channel and OTB Saints and OTB LSU, which we will talk some LSU football later. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. Look, if you need reliable window installation, you're going to see the difference clearly when you work with Tommy's. Let's say you need wood windows, you need vinyl. You need vinyl siding, you need hardy plank. They got you. You need any type of door. They have you. Now, Tommy himself, on top of being just incredibly charismatic, detail-oriented, driven, hardworking, right? Like, you deal with this guy, you're going to be like, oh, wow, okay. This is a man that I trust. But he also brings 27 years of experience to bear. And after 2 decades of working in the industry, he decided to start his own business. And 7 years in a row now, Tommy's been given the Angie Service Award. So again, say you just got a tax return, you want to invest in your most important asset, your home. You want Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. Make them one of your 3 bids and let them earn your business. GoTommys.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Lebby for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Lebby a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to...
So join us for Friday's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Final thoughts as LSU gets set to face Mississippi State in baseball to start SEC play. We'll talk some football as well. It's Friday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around,
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
sometimes I think sitting on trains. Every step I get to, I'm clocking that game. Everyone's a winner, we're making our fame. Bonafide hustler, making my name. Sometimes I think sitting on trains. Every step I get to, I'm clocking that game. Everyone's a winner, we're making our fame. Bonafide hustler, making my name.
Oh, man. I love this song. This song was really big, I feel like, around the time that I got Gerald, my cat, back in the day. Also, the song always reminds me of Pineapple Express. But I feel like specifically in This Is the End, which is one of the most underrated comedies of all time.
Good.
When they do the fake Pineapple Express sequel, isn't that the song that they have playing behind the fake Pineapple Express sequel? Oh, that's absolutely wonderful.
Extremely underrated comedy film.
Yeah, I mean, I got Gerald the cat from the streets of Baton Rouge, and I feel like that was kind of the lifestyle he was living.
Yeah.
You know? We used to always make jokes that he was, running kittens, slinging catnip, and we pulled him out of that life.
You took him out the trenches.
We took him out of the trenches.
Sounds like me and Gerald had similar upbringings.
Yep, took him out the trenches of BR and let him get nice and fat and happy. Daniel Basham, This Is the End is the best 2010s comedy. I mean, I actually agree. That's a top 3 comedy probably for me personally of all time.
I agree.
I'm not going to sit here and argue that it was, that it should be on everybody's list. But if you're our age, it's definitely
most
perfectly encapsulates
sure.
of that time and the favorite actors of that time and them all just making fun of themselves.
Yeah.
Like Jonah Hill is just simply fantastic.
Something
He's
not
so
that chill
cringy
happened
and
last
douchey.
Is Jonah Hill from Moneyball?
Yeah. Yeah, during the prayer, this is Jonah Hill from Moneyball.
I love when Aziz
Sick reference, bro. Sick reference, bro.
Your references are out of control. Everybody knows it.
When Aziz is in the hole, and what's his name? Craig
Robinson.
Craig is running, and Aziz is like, help, and he's like, it's too late for you. You're in the hole.
And then they run in the house, and he's like, I tried to save Aziz. I tried.
Oh my God, dude. It might be time for This Is the End rewatch.
It's so good.
It's absolutely fantastic. Even down to the core premise of like Seth Rogen suddenly being like, really famous, like really like A-list, and his boy Jay Baruchel still being like kind of famous. Although I would like to throw She's Out of His League into the same hopper that we put Role Models and We're the Millers and a Hall Pass stuff yesterday as one of those great kind of lost to time. Did you ever see She's Out of His League with Jay Baruchel?
I know the exact movie. I've never watched it.
Oh, it's really good. And Alice Eve, I think that's what's her name is, Alice Eve. But whatever, it's fantastic. Oh, that is true. Coked up Michael Cera is incredible in that movie
with the Capri Suns.
Take a little sip, sip.
Yeah.
I heard that in the filming of that Michael Cera told Rihanna he was really gonna spank her, and then she's like, all right, then I'm really gonna slap you, and so yeah, she definitely got her money's worth.
You probably read she slapped him so hard that he had to take a break because it knocked his equilibrium off in the side.
I love Rihanna for that.
All right, let's get back to a little LSU Mississippi State preview. So we mentioned the kind of makeup of the state team thus far. They did not start well. They've been very hot as of late. Again, winners of 10 and 11. They've both thrown well and hit it well during that time. Level of competition, not the best, but who has played the best level of competition, right? So it's even across the board in that regard. They did beat Southern Miss recently too. In that, I don't know if Southern Miss is great this year. I assume they're still pretty good. But when you talk about Mississippi State, it is impossible. And again, sorry, in case you missed it, this team this year, unlike last year, has been carried by their starting pitching thus far. The bats have gotten better, but they've had to kind of come up. But when you talk about Mississippi State, there is one player that you cannot escape. And it's because he is basically the engine behind, and maybe not just the engine. He's the engine, the axles, the fuel. He is everything behind this Mississippi State offense, and that is Dakota Jordan, who is fresh off being named SEC Co-Player of the Week. Last week in 4 games, Dakota Jordan went 9 of 13, hit 4 home runs, 2 doubles, had 13 ribbies, and the Bulldogs went 4-0. On the year, he has 9 home runs, 28 RBI. He's hitting over 400. He is number 2 in the SEC right now in home runs and RBI and slugging percentage. So we'll talk about Charlie Condon. He's right behind him. He has 9 of Mississippi State's 14 home runs. So I love D1 baseball has SEC Extra, right? Where all they do is cover the SEC. And Joe Healy's a very good writer. And Joe Healy calls Dakota Jordan maybe the most important position player in the entire SEC. In that, if he wasn't on state, it's nearly impossible to fathom what their actual record could be. I think they're 13-5. It could be something akin to 5-13 if you didn't have Dakota Jordan. So he is the name to watch every single time that he comes up to plate. Now, like I said, lately, some others have been getting it going as well. 10 of 11 their last 11 games. Have hit 11 home runs in that time as well. So watch out for Dakota Jordan. So that's kind of your Mississippi State preview. Look, this is a better team. I think this is a better team than I thought coming out of week 1 of this season. It's a much better staff than I thought they were going to have. And when it comes to Mississippi State, I always feel like the bats will eventually figure it out. If you just go off of pure stats, it's pretty intriguing how similar State and LSU are. As in most categories, be it ERA, batting average, strikeouts, fielding percentage, walks, they're both kind of upper middle pack. And usually it's Mississippi State right behind LSU, but sometimes it's the opposite as well. So it's weird right now because I do think LSU is a better team and should win the series and has much more depth and talent. But just from a pure on-paper's numbers standpoint, it's a pretty damn even matchup. And now it's going to be the first real test for both teams, first real extended test, in that it's SEC play and it really matters. And it's going to be a duty noble. So let's not get it twisted that this is going to be an easy weekend for LSU. Now, Friday again, Friday, Tigers should handle. With Dome out, that's a huge break. Series no good. LSU must take advantage of having Holman on the mound and win tonight's game. All right, dang, I went long there. I wanted to get into the SC baseball preview, but let's talk to the host of Sports Talk Mississippi, one of my favorite guys, Brian Haydad. He's on 3 to 6 every afternoon in Mississippi, and he covers, he's a Mississippi State guy. He hosts an Ole Miss guy. It's a great show. It's huge. Let's talk to Brian about this state team and what he thinks is coming up this weekend next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Coleman Roofing and Construction. Go to colemanroof.com. Colemanroof.com. If you want to work with Louisiana's most reliable and most respected roofing company, if you want to work with great, young, dynamic culture where the guys work hard and get the job done no matter what it takes. I mean, you want to talk about going the extra mile, Coleman will lay it all on the line for you every single project. And I always go back to the word complete when we do this, and it's because it's so representative of what Coleman is, in that it's any size job, commercial or residential. It's anywhere in the Gulf South region, so all over Louisiana. It's any type of roof. They have certified major installers for all your major brands. And it's also construction. It's your interiors, drywall, whatever you need. So, ColemanRoof.com. Go there today, ColemanRoof.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Makes us all look better. faster, stronger. That don't kill me, can only make me stronger.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Right now, it is my pleasure to be joined by my guy, Brian Haydad, at Brian Haydad on Twitter, host of Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk. Over there, you catch him 3 to 6 every single afternoon. He is the man, a big wrestling fan, but for this weekend, he is the enemy. Congratulations, Brian, on winning Game 1 of the Bulldog Tiger Classic, even if it was on the basketball court.
Well, that's technically Game 2.
Okay, relax.
They won in Baton Rouge. I was down there for that. I don't know if you knew. I didn't look you up or anything.
Well, thanks for the text. No, I had no idea. Then again, I don't know. I don't ever do anything anyway, so whatever.
You're busy being a dad. Hester's not here today, by the way. I had a funny story for him, but I guess we'll have to wait.
Do you want me to pretend like I'm Hester and you can tell me the funny story?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hey, Jacob.
I'm Grady, man. I like fullback play and football and Coors Light and Jameson, and I don't know about that Star Wars crap, man. Now, what you got, Brian?
now you lost. But anyway, I had dinner last night with my cousin, who's a big LSU fan. His wife, whoo, thinks you're good looking.
You're saying your cousin's wife wants to bang Jake?
I didn't say that. I did not say
that
was not what I said.
Reading between the lines, I think that's absolutely what you said.
No, I didn't say that at all. That is terrible.
Well, look, we know he can. We've seen him do it to Florida multiple times. So I'll put in a good word.
Kids too, so I mean, you know.
True.
It's not a question of if.
It's a question. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Brian, what about before we get to baseball? I don't know if you saw it, but I've taken to calling Zach Arnett Zacuck Arnett. Am I wrong for this?
I mean, the man could get another job. T-Bob.
He didn't have to go to Ole Miss. He didn't have to go to Ole Miss after running Mississippi State into the ground with some of the most questionable decision-making I've ever seen in my life.
I will say that Zach Arnett was clearly not ready to be a head coach in the SEC when he took this job.
Yeah.
And in Mississippi State, in hindsight, should have just let things play out. And if you lose some of your recruiting class, you just lose it, right? It's the transfer portal. You can make it up in 10 minutes if you hire the right guy. But as far as him going to Ole Miss, I mean, I don't harbor a whole ton of ill will towards him because I don't know what other options he had as far as coaching jobs wanted to go this offseason. I was kind of surprised he didn't pick up a defensive coordinator job somewhere because I thought he was a pretty good defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
but
he was.
As far as him going to Ole Miss, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant at the end of the day. He's an analyst. How much is he really going to be doing? I'm not gonna harbor a whole ton of ill will. I did laugh at your clip, though.
I mean, it's big cuck energy is all I'm saying. Okay, let's get into the baseball. Yeah. Brian, this is a baseball team where after week 1, we're kind of laughing at y'all like, Mississippi State sucks, blah, blah, blah. But things look like they've turned around, man. Been hot in the last 11. Dakota Jordan's maybe first, second best player. I mean, if Charlie Condon didn't exist, probably the best player in the SEC. The starting pitching's been must improve. I know Dome's out tonight, but before you get to that, tell me your view on kind of the growth that you've seen from this Bulldog team early on.
Well, I think it's kind of sort of false hope, T-Bob. I mean, the strength of schedule they've played has been they've been playing really weak teams. I think their strength of schedule nationally is like 120, and they already have 5 losses against that. You know, they lost 1 to Air Force, they lost 1 to Georgia Southern, they got swept in the midweek by Austin Peay, and then of course they lost Tuesday night to South Alabama. They do that thing that bad teams do, and that's, you know, a season ago they couldn't pitch, right? They walked too many guys. Defensively, they were really bad last year. They seem to have fixed those issues a little bit. They're much more efficient on the mound. They're not giving away a lot of free bases. But now the hitting has disappeared. So it's, you know, you plug one hole in the boat and another one pops open, and that's the sign of a badly coached team, in my opinion. So I don't know. You know, the downfall of Mississippi State baseball from the time it won the national title in 2021 to today is something that should be studied because it doesn't make any sense. I think even the most ardent Mississippi State hater would have told you when State won in Omaha, there was a feeling of, okay, these guys are about to rip off. You know, I'm not saying a run like LSU had or anything like that, but they're going to get a couple of more in the next decade or something like that. And instead, it's been exactly the opposite. They've fallen to the bottom of the conference. And I think this weekend's going to be a big wake-up call for some people who think this team is a lot better than last year.
Well, and it's crazy because, State also had that thing where they were having success transcending multiple coaches, right? Like, whether it's Canizero, his replacement, Lemonis, like everybody, it feels like State is a place where the power's in the soil a bit. And there's so much emotional buy-in that in the age of NIL that becomes economic buy-in. Like, what is holding State back since 21?
I think it's a combination of, I think the evaluations have just not been as good. And I think that team that was left behind, that was some John Cohen recruits and then a lot of Andy Canizero recruits, they left. And, when you lost Mangum and then you lost Tanner Allen and Rowdy Jordan and you lost Landon Sims, I mean, those guys, when they left, they took not only their talent, but their leadership and their locker room presence. And State has just not been able to recreate that under Lemonis thus far. So, and I mean, you look at the recruiting rankings year in and year out, State's always up there in the top 10, and you think they're going to be, a better team than they aren't, but they aren't. And like I said, when that's the case, I don't have a whole lot of options, but dependent on the head man. And I just don't see a happy ending here for Lemonis at the end of this. Honestly, I was very surprised he got another year. I thought he might go at the end of last year.
I was too, Brian, especially given how, Mississippi State baseball is one of those programs where you don't – I wouldn't expect a very long leash because the expectations rightfully should be extremely high every single year. Like, year in and year out, they should be to compete for a SEC championship and more. I mean, it's a situation – like, the dude will probably see more people come through than any other stadium in the SEC. So – yeah, I mean, I hope that they get it right, and maybe not this weekend, as we're kind of looking for revenge for what the Bulldogs did to LSU last year, completely obliterating any confidence Tiger fans had in the bullpen right before the tournament started. Yeah. Tonight or tomorrow, whenever this game gets played, Nate Dahlm out. Is this kind of a situation where you're almost like seeding game one and then you got to rely on Steven and Sinte in 2 and 3 to try to take the series?
That's one way to look at it. The main thing with State is their hitting has been so bad thus far this year. You mentioned Dakota Jordan. He's hitting the ball really, really well. He's playing at an All-American level. So is David Mershon. Since he came back, he missed the first weekend. But since then, he's been over 400. But after that, when we're 17, 18 games into the season now, Hunter Hines has 1 home run. This is a guy who's been 20 home runs plus the past 2 years.
Wow.
State's lineup is just not delivering past Mershon and Jordan. So even if they had Dome on the mound tonight, I don't know that they're going to be able to put up enough runs against the Tiger pitching staff to win any games. So, yeah, I see what you're saying about throwing Thierry tonight and not moving guys up in the rotation. I think State just wanted to stay with its normal rotation to try to keep guys in their comfort zone. But if they don't hit the baseball, it's not going to make any difference.
What's the latest on Lorenzo? Obviously, one of the most exciting kind of players, ambidextrous. We know all about that. Last year, I'm trying to remember how his year went last year. I feel like he had a really good pre-conference portion, and then I can't remember how he did in the SEC. But is he the most exciting pitcher? What do you think on this staff?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, he struggled last year in the conference, but he was a true freshman. I mean, he showed you some flashes here and there. He's been really good this year in non-conference play. He looks a lot more comfortable out there. I think last year he was just trying to find his bearings, trying to make some decisions about how he wanted to throw. He's been more predominantly right-handed this year. Now, he'll make the switch every now and then, but for the most part, he's stuck with that right-handed pitching. So he's a good pitcher. He's got talent, and I think, especially as a Sunday starter, he can be as good a Sunday starter as anybody in the league just based on his talent. So State's pitching is okay.
Yeah.
Steven has been really good coming from the portal. He came from Purdue. Yeah. And Dome had looked good his last few starts before he aggravated his arm last week. We don't know what the long-term prognosis is on that yet. I mean, he did that thing, T-Bob, where he shakes his arm and you're like, oh, no.
Yeah, you hate it. Yeah, I think zing was the word that Lemonis used, which you never want to – you never
want to hear that.
No.
So, but we'll see. He had a situation like that last year where he came out of the game and it looked like we were all up there saying, okay, he's done. And then he pitched the next week. So I think he's just going to miss this week, and they'll reevaluate him from there.
So real quick here, what's the weather looking like? You think it's going to play tonight or tomorrow?
So looking at the and I haven't done any, I haven't looked past the AccuWeather website.
Yeah.
But it says that around 6, it's supposed to stop raining. It's supposed to rain all day, but around 6, it might stop. So we might have a little bit of delay, but that they'll do everything. They don't want to play doubleheader.
No.
So they'll do everything they can to get this game in tonight. If they have to delay it 30, 40, 50 minutes, they will. So I expect to see baseball tonight if the weather holds that pattern. If not, they'll play 2 tomorrow.
Brian, how's the early returns on Lebby thus far?
I like him. I had him on the podcast last week, and I think when you hire a coach at Mississippi State, everybody's going to say, "Well, can he replicate what Dan Mullen did?" And what I would say is the early returns on Lebby is we know about his offense. We've seen it. We've seen it in action. We've seen the production he's had. But this is a guy who attacks recruiting differently than Mullen did.
Really?
Mullen had a reputation of, I don't want to say lazy, but he was not the hardest recruiter in the world.
No, I mean, it's crazy. Dan Mullen is legitimately one of the best on-field coaches of our era, but just, never really gave a damn about recruiting.
Right. Lebby is a recruiter. He's really bought in. He's attacking the state. State right now, I would say, is the favorite to land Caleb Cunningham, the state's only 5-star player this year who's a wide receiver from just down the road. They've got a big – you need to see this kid they have committed at quarterback. Lebby's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
He's bigger than Lebby. He's taller than he is.
Wow.
He's built like a high school offensive tackle, but he's a quarterback. And they're really doing a good job in state right this second. They feel like they've got some momentum. But it's a long way, until we get to the season. I think this season is just about getting to 6, Bob. If they can win their non-conference games and maybe beat Florida and Arkansas here in Starkville, that's probably a solid first year for Jeff Lebby.
Well, and I mean, and like, be exciting again, right? Like, if nothing else, I even loved it in Adobe press conference. He's like, if nothing else, we're going to score points.
Yes, they need that after last year, and as bad as they were off, and even under Leach, they weren't explosive offensively.
Yeah.
They did enough to win a lot of times, but you had a lot of yards with no points under Mike Leach.
Yeah.
So that's what State's never had that. They've never had that explosive, get up and down the field, play fast, big play offense. Even under Mullen, when Dak was there, they were still a ball control offense. So
I know, and I feel like with the athletes in Mississippi, I feel like you could build that. So maybe Lebby's on.
He did it at Ole Miss. He ran that offense at Ole Miss, and he ran it with the guys that they had. They didn't have transfer portal his first year. Nobody knew that Matt Corral was going to be an all-SEC kind of quarterback, and he turned him into one. So.
There you go. Brian Haydad, Sports Talk Mississippi. He is the man. Catch him every afternoon. Brian, thank you so much, man. Again, I hope the Bulldogs lose this weekend, but otherwise, that State is my favorite other SEC school. I find a lot of kindred spirits over there from y'all's neck of the woods.
I will take that from you. I will take it. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, Brian. You take it easy, man. You have a great weekend. Enjoy the dude. It'd be a lot of fun to be out there this weekend. All right, when we get back, let's close at hour 1 of OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon. Get it done. 225-888-8888. Any area code, all the 8s. That's Gordon. Gordon's going to fight for you. If you get in an accident, somebody's going to stand up to the big insurance companies, get you what you deserve. That's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Okay? So, call him when you get in an accident. Follow him on social media at Get Gordon. And look, on Instagram, they got a ton of great stuff. Like, they have general life advice videos on, like, just how to handle things, how do you operate, which, from a very successful business owner, I would say carries a lot of weight. They also have great advice on what to do after you get in an accident, right? What are the first steps to take to protect yourself so you can educate yourself a little bit? And then they also have great content with your favorite athletes, the members of the G Team, as Gordon McKernan supports LSU Athletics through and through. And these players, shout out to Hayden Travinsky, the latest member of said G Team. Get Gordon, get it done today.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
I've been doing business with Lebby for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
On Tuesday's OTB, what does LSU baseball need to do in their final tune-up for SEC play? Plus, the latest from LSU Tiger Spring football and talking on Saints with Nick Underhill. Off the bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Closing hour number 1 of OTB. Shout out Brian Haydad. That was a lot of fun sitting down with him. Shout out everybody going to the Savannah Bananas over the weekend. Taylor has his Party Animals shirt on. Party Animals, the winners last night. What was the final score?
So it's funny they do it. They don't do it based on the total number of runs, which is kind of cool because if you have one bad inning, you can bounce back. So let's say,
what do they do? Like match play? Like you win innings?
Kind of. So
like,
it's like
whole play?
So like let's say if the Party Animals win the first inning 5-0
they're up 1-0.
1-0.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That is a good idea.
It was 4-3.
Okay, that's
score.
a great idea, actually.
Yeah. It's like you can recover from one bad inning.
Have y'all thought about any Savannah Banana in-game bits that you would do that you were if you were in charge? I know that we talked about turning the baby race into ritual baby sacrifice, like to the last place baby. I don't think Banana's going to be into that.
They had a ritual involving a baby last night.
What'd they do?
Pre-game, they had a baby banana bless the team.
Oh,
and they just literally get a random dad to bring his baby out there. They put him in a little baby banana.
Oh, my God.
Held him up above the pitcher's mound, and then they played, like, the Lion King theme music. They did it before the game.
It's a great bit, dude.
They said, and it was the peel of the game because it wasn't a full banana. It was a baby, so it was a peel.
I was thinking you could do something where you stack a bunch of kids on each other's shoulders, like Little Rascal style, and put like a trench coat and a mustache on the top one.
Yeah.
And then you walk them out to either the mound, like maybe it's the mound, and then they hop off and all 3 pitch it at the same time.
Ooh, yeah.
So I have a picture I'll pull up. Somebody batted on stilts last night.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, and like ran to first base.
Did the catcher stand
On
up because the
stilts?
strike zone has to be like up above his head? I was thinking about putting
That's
like
cray.
super sticky fly traps maybe on the bases so that the runners get stuck like an old cartoon.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Did you ever play Louisville Chugger when you were on the beach on spring break?
Elaborate a little bit.
You would get a wiffle ball bat and you would drill a couple holes into it so that you could put a beer in it and it would function like a shotgun, right? A hole for the
Okay.
air to go through and the hole at the bottom.
No, I've never done that.
And
but
you would chug it, and however long you took to chug every many seconds, then you had to spin head down that many times, and then people
Dizzy
would
bat?
throw you. Yeah, dizzy bat. That's what it is. Yes. And then people would throw you the beer can, and you had to hit it, and it was one of the funniest, most fun
that
games
actually
ever.
sounds so much fun.
Sounds like the perfect game for the party animals.
Yeah.
To be engaging
Well,
in.
one guy like
Okay.
acted like a beer chugging before you hit.
If you're watching on youtube.com/1045ESPN, you're seeing a picture of the guy batting on stilts. Actually fantastic.
There's actually a girl.
That is
The only girl on the team.
That is ridiculous. Did she make contact?
Yeah, she hit it, and she actually ran.
Did she run?
Almost made it to first. Got thrown out, but like it was impressive.
Does anybody have video of the woman on stilts running after hitting?
That's crazy.
This is wholesome. Nookie says the Banana Foster promotion was really great. They make a point to recognize foster families, something that doesn't get near enough recognition. I agree. That's really cool, man. Shout out to the Bananas. That sounds like just a great time. It sounds like again, people that started it leveraged their lives for this idea. I would have never fathomed in my wildest dreams that you could create a modern day like Globetrotters type of experience in the internet age. I just thought we had too much entertainment. I thought it was too impossible. And I'll be damned, they have proven everybody wrong and then some. I mean, they have gone above and beyond in terms of what they've created with this. How'd you get tickets?
So
You got like 30 seconds away. 10 seconds.
My future brother-in-law's dad had a bunch. A couple people backed out, so we got invited last minute.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, hour number 2 coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. Look, you feel not yourself, okay? You don't have the confidence you used to have rolling into bed. You don't have the energy you used to have rolling out of bed or into it. You got facial aging, mood and memory problems. God, I'm running into memory problems, dude. Weight gain, not seeing the return they used to from your workouts. Like, I haven't changed anything. What's happening? Well, these are all the untreated effects of aging. And at Rejuve Me Medical, I don't care if you're male, female, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. Okay, we all age differently. But we can do upkeep on our bodies. Like, there are ways to treat these symptoms. And maybe it's HRT, maybe it's semaglutide, maybe it's B vitamin shots, maybe it's not. What you want to do is go to Rejuve Me, get your labs drawn, get that free consultation, and let your body be the guide for them to customize a plan for you. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Bayou Ford has $7,500 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. $7,500 off plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Friday, March 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect rainy skies with a high of 82. In hour two of today's show, we'll talk the latest with the New Orleans Saints, as well as some LSU football and NFL free agency news. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number two of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob Alondra Taylor hanging out with you this morning. Friday, March 15, 2024. Bananas in town. LSU baseball out of town at the Dude. Selection Sunday coming up for this LSU women's basketball team. Also learning the men's basketball team makes the NIT. Falling yesterday, Mississippi State. But, you know, like we said, don't let that overwhelm what has otherwise been a really good year for men's basketball. And, well, let's let the baseball team do the talking. Did you know that Mississippi State actually leads the all-time series pretty handily? I think it's like, where did I write it down here? I wrote it down somewhere on my notes. Maybe I wrote it after you printed these. It's like 210 to 190 something. So we got to start getting that back. And also, like I opened the show with, you owe Mississippi, 218 to 190. Mississippi State with a pretty hefty advantage.
Who has more natties?
Fair. That is fair. I mean, you are talking about two of the last three national champions is squaring up, though. But if you missed it, we talked to Brian Haydad from Sports Talk Mississippi at 7:30. And I told you earlier, right? I think that this LSU team is much better talent-wise and just much better. But on paper, there's a lot of statistics that make them look very similar. After talking to Brian, it feels like he thinks they're a bit of a paper bulldog. As what did he say? They ranked 120th in strength schedule, and they still lost 5 games. Now, granted, they've won 10 of the last 11, so it's been better as of late. And their pitching woes from last year appear to be fixed, but now they can't hit it outside of Marshawn and Dakota Jordan, 2 guys that you're going to want to watch this week. And also, in case you missed it, starting pitcher, going to be their Friday night ace, Nate Dome, going to be out for Mississippi State, meaning Evan Seary is going to be on the mound, a guy who has failed to go over 2 innings in his 4 outings. So if the game gets played tonight, where it may be delayed, but so they want to get it played, I imagine LSU will take care of business there. As you know, and again, remember, this is a state team that came into your house last year and took 2 or 3 off of you in improbable fashion, winning games late, coming back from massive deficits while also instilling in you an insecurity and fear about your bullpen that made you bail on Jay Johnson and the boys right before the tournament started. We owe these guys, okay? And I would love nothing more than to ruin their good time at the Dude this weekend, and that hopefully starts tonight. Let's look at the SEC as a whole here, because we are essentially done with the preview portion of the season. And I'll be honest, I did not go very multi-source with this. I used, again, D1 Baseball as a SEC Extra that you can sign up for. I love it. I think they do a great job. And the information you're going to get is from their SEC primer, okay? I don't want to mislead you. I'm not sitting here grinding these other teams playing, their own North Dakota states and whatnot. But right now, D1 Baseball, you're talking about the SEC's most improved team. Who do y'all think it is? You're not going to like the answer.
A&M.
It's the Texas A&M Aggies.
Well, when you're at the bottom, you have nowhere to go but up.
Fair.
So
it's a good bit, but it also looks like a legitimately good team.
Yeah.
As well.
Coach Schlossnagel. Imagine that being the coach's show and you have to say that. That sounds awful.
It's just such a I've heard about this thing that kids are doing where, do you know what mewing is? Not the Pokemon Mew, spelled the same way. Mewing.
Like what cows do.
Is that what they do with their tongues?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Cows are mooing. I apologize.
What are you?
I hate you so much. Mewing is when you close your mouth and I think you stick your tongue to the roof of your mouth and you swallow. It's a tough motion, right? But it works out your muscles, like your jaw muscles. So all the young cats are doing it to try to get these defined jaw lines, right? I feel like saying Schlossnagel, if you had to say that throughout the entire year on a coach's show, you would have a Zac Efron level jaw by the time you were done. It's very unwieldy. It's a workout to say every single time. But A&M right now is 17-0. They're number 1 nationally with a 2.01 team ERA. They are 5th nationally in strikeouts per 9 innings. And they are top 25 nationally in batting average, home runs, and on-base percentage. So make no mistake, here early on, this looks to be a damn good Texas A&M baseball team, and they are someone who's going to have to be dealt with. Self-awareness is Alabama most improved. Ranked with 1 loss facing the Vols this weekend. No comparison.
I'm looking at A&M's schedule and who they faced. I mean,
but who
teams are okay.
Who has LSU faced out of Texas? I mean, besides Texas and UL, right? That's every team to this point.
Yeah.
So make no mistake, this weekend and the next few weeks are going to be the let's see who's real, right?
Yeah.
It's the classic sports talk. Who are the contenders? Who are the pretenders?
For
right?
Sure.
And yes, Alabama. I mean, even after losing Luke Holman and all the drama they went through last year, they do appear to be good as well. I think. Were they better than A&M last year already? I'm trying to remember. And everybody in the SEC is going to be pretty good. So whether you want A&M, Alabama, 2 very improved programs this year. The best hitter thus far, and is not even close, has been UGA's Charlie Condon. These numbers, guys, are mind-boggling. Charlie Condon right now is hitting .569. .569. And I don't care who you're playing. You should, Stephen Milam leads LSU at .389,
Yeah.
I believe. You should not be able to play college baseball against your peers over a 17, 18, 19 game sample and hit .569. That's mind-boggling. He has an on-base percentage of .670, and he's got a slugging of .1292. 13 home runs, 26 ribbies, 18 walks. He's only struck out 10 times. So it is insane how good Charlie Condon has been thus far. Best pitcher in the SEC right now. Now, certainly, Luke Holman, you could argue is among that crew, although they actually put him down along with Kavaris Tears from Tennessee under their best breakout players category. So Holman does get some love in this SEC preview. But they have the best pitcher as Hagen Smith from Arkansas, the lefty, who I didn't realize this in a game against Oregon State earlier this year, damn good program, dropped 17 Ks in a single outing. He's currently got a 2.12 ERA, 40 Ks, 7 walks, opponent batting average is 107. He's got the number one whiff rate in the entire country, 64.5%. So Hagen Smith is a problem, and you will run into that problem eventually.
Arkansas as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, and that's to be expected. That's just a great program.
Yeah.
They just have to get it figured out in the postseason. They are still dealing with the grievous wound of being a dropped foul ball, pop fly, routine play away from a national championship. It's really hard to emotionally recover from that. They have the best freshman thus far as Gavin Grahavec from Texas A&M. Batting .344, 41 on base, 4 homers, 20 ribbies. They also have the best transfer as Braden Montgomery from Texas A&M. Hitting .403, 7 home runs, 31 ribbies. So, as you can see, A&M looking very strong. Arkansas strong as ever. I mean, it is the SEC. Some other matchups you might want to keep an eye on this weekend. LSU and Mississippi State at the Dude, I think is fantastic. But you also have Florida and A&M in Gainesville. So, again, we want to figure out how real Texas A&M is. Okay, well, here's a perfect opportunity to do so. You have Auburn at Vandy, which is great. You have LSU at Mississippi State, and there's plenty of other ones. Tommy says Hagen Smith struck out 15 in a row in that game. What? It was 17 Ks in 6 innings?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's
He's pretty crazy.
That's hard to fathom. Yeah. Well, and he dominated LSU last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's been good for a few years.
Yeah.
Avo says, Charlie, have you heard of Gordon McKernan? Enter the portal and let's get it done. Yeah, I agree, dude, right? Like, come on, UGA? Nobody cares about baseball at UGA. Who played for a program where they give a damn. But Athens is pretty cool. So there it is, a little SEC primer. Again, guys to watch for State tonight. Evan Siri, the pitcher, you should touch him up. He is not good. He is not their normal Friday night guy. And then in the lineup, again, you're going to want to watch out for Dakota Jordan. He's SEC Player of the Week this last week. He is number 2 in the SEC in home runs, ribbies, slugging. He is the entire reason why their offense has even had a pulse this year. So that's your State primer. That's your SEC primer. Let's freaking go, dude. I am so excited that SEC baseball is back. What are you most excited for? If you want to get in the chat, in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, you can put it in there. We'll get to it. When we get back, I want to start kind of shift to some football. We got some LSU football topics concerning the defensive line and maybe a bit of optimism that I haven't engaged with yet. You want to pump a little sun? Well, come stick on. Stay here. Stick on. Stick by. Stand by. Stick around for more Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Huge thank you to Cinder Plumbing, our one-stop plumbing shop, for getting involved in an incredible cause. So the Dream Come True Golf Tournament is a week from Monday. Dreams Come True is an organization that makes Louisiana kids' dreams come true. It is the best initiative that you can get involved in. It's one of my favorite. Been working with them for years, right? It's Make-A-Wish, only local. Central Plumbing is auctioning off one of the teams for the tournament, which is sold out. It's $1,000. Now, you have to remember, and if you buy it, you, 3 others, so 4 people, and me will all go drink beer, golf, and have a great time next Monday. It's going to be great. But please remember, you're not paying to play the golf. You're not paying to hang out with me. That's just fun along the way. You are paying for a Louisiana kid who is dealing with the toughest of circumstances for them and their family to have their dreams come true. So please, if you can, get your friends together, bid on this. Let's get it done. Thank you to Central Plumbing. Let's play some golf.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Lebby for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
Championship week is here. Come on by and join us at the Queen Casino at the DraftKings Sportsbook Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's live at lunch, live at the DraftKings Sportsbook at the Queen Casino on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob Lounge and Taylor hanging out with you today. Talking a lot of baseball today. SC baseball on the docket. Cannot wait. And I want to turn to a piece by Glenn West of 247 Sports. As you know, we've talked a lot about this LSU football team. And I was saying this yesterday on some Alabama radio, right? That if this were a video game and you were playing and LSU was a boss that you were playing against, right? The interior of this defensive line would be this giant, glowing, weak spot, shoot me here, right? Like if you play the Resident, whatever, any games. You played a lot of games in the day where you got this big, insane boss, and as a, you could argue, maybe potentially somewhat lazy game design function, they make it very obvious where you should hit them for maximum damage. That is LSU on the interior defensive line. But it does not extend out to the edge. And I thought that Glenn had a great piece where he kind of started to break some of this down, where as much as we lament the interior, the edge has a lot of potential, and it could be exciting. And we'll get to the players, but it actually starts with Kevin Peoples. And when I went to the Senior Bowl, I was talking to people about a lot of the hires that LSU had made, right? And I was talking about Peoples. And I remember when we originally talked about Peoples being hired, it was right on the heels of the Blake Baker news. Peoples also coming over from Mizzou. And it had the feeling of like Peoples just being like, not also ran, that's not the right term, but just, Blake Baker gets the headlines. Peoples was like an addendum to the story, just kind of lumped in. Now, I was taken aback when I was talking to others at the Senior Bowl, and I had multiple people tell me, no, like, look, man, Kevin Peoples is a dog. Like, he's that guy. He is one of those great up-and-coming coaches. People really believe in him in terms of his potential and what he'll go on to do. And then you start to look into it, and yeah, the numbers actually support it, right? So I feel like I misled our audience on this show because I didn't give Peoples his flowers as I should have when you hired him. That's actually a very, very good hire for this LSU defense. In fact, at the time, I wasn't even aware that Peoples was a Broyles Award semifinalist. And remember, the Broyles Award last year, the Broyles Award, it's a hard word to say, goes to the top assistant coach in the entire nation. It's rare to see somebody who's coaching just, the edge rushers and outside linebackers make it that far. And yet he was. And if you look at Mizzou from a production standpoint, it's a Mizzou football team that was top 20 in the countries in TFLs and 12th in sacks in the entire nation. So you combine Kevin Peoples with a room that has talent. Now, I know it may not feel like the most exciting because what you saw last year, but let's look at Savion Jones specifically. Because whether it's Harold Perkins last season, whether it's Mekhi Wingo last season, whether it's Mason Smith, the list goes on and on. There are so many players on that defense that we had seen earlier in their career be better than they were last season. And maybe nobody represented that more so. I mean, certainly Wingo would be up there, and Perkins probably the ultimate example. But the hidden one is Savion Jones. In that in 2022, when he was a part-time backup, he actually put up better numbers than he did in 2023 as a full-time starter. If you remember coming into the year, and if you go back to like 2022 film, when we would watch it, Savion Jones kind of popped pretty consistently and jumped off the screen pretty consistently. I was very excited for him. And then, when you have Harold Perkins taking the step back that he did last year, it's just that the lamentations over Jones kind of get lost in the mix a bit. But the point of all of this is to say that I think we have enough of a body of evidence to say that the coaching was a net drag on these players last year, and at a lot of these positions, you had guys look worse than they probably actually are, right? That there's a lot of untapped potential at these positions, whether it's a secondary, linebacker, edge. Interior D-line is still a problem, right? Because I mean, certainly like any other position, you're going to have some untapped potential. It's certainly great coaching is going to improve any group. That said, that is still a crew where I don't think you have as much as you do at linebacker, secondary, or on the edge. So it's not just Savion Jones. I remember Paris Shan. He had some very nice moments last year. Gabriel Relaford will be joining this team early. Dylan Carpenter. I don't know much about Dylan, actually. But that's good. Those are going to be your edge defenders. Really, I'm looking at Shand, Jones, and Relaford, and maybe Carpenter surprised me and proves me wrong. And then you talk about that jackbacker who's going to be just as involved in the edge and getting after the passer and playing on the outside there. And you got Braden Swinson, who was maybe your most consistent pass rusher last season. You got Deshaun Womack, who you could see the talent. Now, he had some low freshman moments, no doubt, and he wasn't the panacea to the problems that some made him out to be last year, but the potential is massive. And year number 2 is when we want to see him take that huge step forward, especially now when teamed up with a coach as talented as Kevin Peoples. So you got Swinson, Womack, Jackson Howard, Clutch Cobbins, and all of a sudden you have a group that I feel could be pretty damn strong and not a weakness. So when people say the D-line is a huge glaring weakness, an Achilles heel on this entire LSU team, which I think it is. Remember, we are just talking about the interior. I think, full sunshine pumping Bob here, I think you should be pretty pumped up on the potential of these edge rushers, of this jack group, this edge group, this DN group, and the combination of these players and Kevin Peoples. I think this is going to be a productive group. Now, unfortunately, it is all a bit symbiotic, right? Where great interior pass rush sets up the edge. If you can push the pocket from the interior, well, then a quarterback can't step up, and then everybody benefits, right? And it's the same thing with linebacker play. Great interior play keeps offensive linemen off the middle linebackers, allows them to roam, allows them to make plays. So there are still problems that need to be fixed there, but I like what LSU has on the edge.
Too, and you were talking about like all the depth they have, all the young guys coming up. That can help you move pieces, right? We were talking about guys cross-training inside and outside. A Paris Shand, a Savion Jones. They can move inside and help you with that interior pass rush you were talking about because you don't have bodies there. But because you have so much talent on the outside, you can afford to lose some of those bigger body defensive ends and move them in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And that's probably something that you're going to have to explore doing. And I mean, Savion Jones got pretty big last year. I wouldn't mind seeing him get a little lighter again, but whatever the staff is going to tell him, that's fine. But yeah, you're going to have to work some of that in just for depth reason, if nothing else. Hey, I do want to remind you, if you need any AC, heating, or electrical needs, check out AccuTemp. AccuTemp Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com. They are your experts when it comes to taking control of your comfort zone, and you're going to get service to the highest degree, okay? And I know that sounds very like slogany, but I've always painted it as more of their like core mission statement: service to the highest degree. Now, that encapsulates a lot of things, right? Obviously, the work has to be quality, the work has to be correct. But what I love is the attention to detail when it comes to serving you, the customer, the full-on biography that they send you about the licensed, bond-insured employees who are coming into your home ahead of time, the links to which they will go to solve your problem. I keep telling the story about a few months back when my AC crapped out. It was one of those random hot weekends in like October or whatever. We had people coming to town. It was going to be a disaster. On a Friday afternoon, my guy from AccuTemp drove all throughout Baton Rouge to find the last part needed, got the AC fixed, weekend saved, disaster averted. That's the level of service you're going to get from AccuTemp. And if you need a whole home generator, there you go to AccuTempBR, AccuTempBR.com. Greg Lamont, T-Bob, Peoples been in this game for 30 years, right? No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know much about Kevin Peoples. Ryan Brack says this is off-season optimism like every other program is doing. Well, yeah, look, certainly the off-season is when teams exist in that quantum realm. It's the old Schrodinger's cat thing. We don't actually know if a team is good or bad, and so you're generally going to err on your kind of lens that you view life through. Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? But I don't think it's crazy to be objectively excited about that group of players tied with a coach like Kevin Peoples and the resume that he has. I also don't think it's too crazy to feel pretty good about an LSU football team that's won 10 games back-to-back years and improved their coaching staff drastically over the offseason on the defensive side of the ball. Now, I have questions. As I said, there are question marks all over this LSU team. Even if you feel bullish about the answers, there's still question marks. And I feel like we have definitely glossed over the Mike Denbrock situation. I mean, I don't think Mike Denbrock was very happy with how things went down with Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan, and then wanting to make Sloan co-OC. In fact, I know he was not happy about that. It's a bit of the same thing that he saw happen to him between him and Kelly at Notre Dame. That's why Denbrock left for Cincinnati originally, right? And so, yes, Sloan and Hankton looked great in the bowl game, but that is a one-game sample size. Whereas Denbrock just was the architect of a Heisman Trophy winning season. Now, I'll give Kelly credit. He's been very good at hiring coordinators through the years, and he's been very good at developing young guys through the years. And so if he thinks Sloan's the guy and wanted to move in that direction, well, okay, that's a vote that deserves a lot of, that should carry some weight. And so it's okay to feel good about it. But I got to be honest, if we're talking like, so Greg says it's March, I'm here for Sunshine Pumping. If we're talking about where I actually believe, though, like, I don't have LSU in the playoff. I have them right outside looking in. I have them finishing about exactly how they did this season, and it's because of the question marks. It's because of the interior defensive line. It's because as much of a step forward as you could take defensively, you're going to take a step back offensively. So I would love for them to outperform my expectations, but I don't think it's going to be anything sort of like a disaster or anything, right? I think you'll win 10 games with a bowl game. I think you'll probably barely miss out on the playoffs, and certainly that's going to disappoint many, including Brian Kelly, who has said that that he, you know, they've been painting year 3 as the year for the huge step forward, but go play the games, and maybe I'm wrong. Time will tell. Where is your expectation level right now, guys, for where this team's going to finish?
I think they could sneak into the playoff, but to your point, like, you know, they're right there on the edge. Can one game make or break the season? Sure. Like, if you get an upset win you should have got, or you get upset in a game you shouldn't have lost, I mean, that can flip your entire season. But I think they're right there on the edge of the playoffs.
Greg
the last 4 in, if you will, since we're in March Madness.
Yeah. I mean, look, they'll be, again, so I guess we're not saying wholly different things because, yeah, I think LSU's a bubble playoff team next year. I would say Mizzou is a bubble playoff team. I would say Ole Miss should make the playoff. I think Rebel Black Bear fans' expectations should be that their team finds themselves in that final 12. Georgia, yes. Alabama, yes. Yes, Alabama should. They still have the most talented roster outside of Georgia. They have a returning quarterback. This is what I don't get about Alabama fans. They all dream about like they really want Ty Simpson to take some massive leap forward and take the job from Jalen Milroe. And it's funny to think about. In fact, it's actually, I guess why it's funny to me too is because it's not dissimilar from everybody hoping the same things for Garrett Nussmeier going into last season, where even though we'd seen Jaden be pretty good, it was like, no, let's see Garrett just take this massive leap and go ahead of him, thinking that Jaden has reached its ceiling. The Jaden ceiling, though, had more legitimacy because he'd already started a million college games at that point. Jalen Milroe was just a sophomore in his first year starting, and he was a top 5 rated quarterback in the entire country. He won 11 games. He beat Georgia and nearly beat the national champion in the Rose Bowl. Like, I know there were stretches of bad, but when you combine that resume with what a physical freak he is, with his youth, the fact that it's his first year starting, like, Jalen Milroe's ceiling is potentially massive. Now, maybe he never reaches it, right? I mean, guys like Jaden and Joe Burrow and the over the offseason improvement, that astronomical improvement, those are anomalies. Those are outliers. The fact that those two happen so close to one another is even more insane. But, like, let's not mistake, all Kalen DeBoer has won, or all Kalen DeBoer has done in his career is win. And now he has the best team he's ever had, and he has a quarterback that was already really damn good last year. So I don't think it's crazy to say that Alabama should make the playoff as well. And then I have like LSU and Mizzou right there on the bubble. Maybe Tennessee sneaking in on the bubble as well, depending on how good Iamaleava and company is.
Yeah, it depends on that. I'm kind of with you on Milroe, and, you know, we've had these conversations before. I was up and down on Milroe this year, and you saw it with Jaden, though, and you were talking about it. I get it. If you're an Alabama fan, you want to see more improvement in the passing game, but it's not dissimilar. And you talked about it like the Jaden thing was even more relevant because he had started 4 years. Jalen Milroe is not. I mean, what did we talk about coming into the year? Jaden can't hit the deep ball. He was one of the best deep ball passers in college football, and everybody's saying he's the best deep ball passer in the draft now. Jalen Milroe had trouble in the middle of the field, the deep crossers, the intermediate passing game. Who's to say he can't make that leap just like a Jaden Daniels did? Because if he does, we know what he can do on the ground.
Well, and like Jaden Daniels, he has such a very clear area in which to improve. And it is his short to intermediate game. It's the opposite of Daniels, but it is this very clear area. So it's like you can commit yourself that whole offseason to doing that and see what happens. Emil says Alabama's defense wasn't bulletproof last year. LSU was just historically bad. Alabama's defense was pretty damn good last year, dude. I think they're having a conversation about what would happen if you flip the quarterbacks on the team, what the records have been. But I don't know. Alabama's defense was pretty damn salty last year. I mean, that was the best secondary in the entire country. Probably had the best edge rusher, or top 5 in the entire country. Dallas Turner, they were still pretty beast last year. Ava says gross. Talking about the upside of Bama quarterback. I know. Here we are. Am I crazy, or did I see a headline this morning where the 14-team playoff is approved?
Yes.
Okay.
But I didn't look further into it, so I might be getting fooled by something, but I don't know.
I think it's not official, but I think it's now being reported that it is expected
basically
to be approved.
Yeah. I don't love that.
Well, let's get there next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. You want the national champion of Toyotas and cars and stuff? It's All-Star Toyota. You can go to the website, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, and there's a ton of great resources there. You can see the deals they got going on every single month. You can explore the selection they have on site, custom order, whatever you want, right? Also, Toyota Express, you can custom order your vehicle right there. Or you can go see them off of Goodwin Airlines, very conveniently located. They got a great live and local sales team that can show you what they got there on the site. Maybe you want a Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get excellent warranty coverage and you get it all at a better price. Or maybe you just need a rent, It's all there for you. It's all there for you at the service center as well. All makes and models welcome. Doesn't have to be All-Star, doesn't have to be Toyota. You mention OTB, you get $100 towards that deductible. So you get an accident, you want to go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. It's All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Join me for a Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Preston Guy talking football, Chris Demouy talking baseball as we get you ready for LSU and Mississippi State from Dudy Noble. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. Okay, so 14-team playoff approved by the conferences starting in 2026. We'll only have 2 years of a 12-team playoff before we go to 14. And I want to talk about this because I went through my own journey when this news originally started, and it ended up being an interesting one in terms of how I feel about it, but I want to hear from y'all first. Alondra, what's your initial thoughts when you hear this?
I think it's stupid because I said this before, but I feel like with what happened with Florida State, you can make the argument like, oh, they got cheated out of the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
I don't really think that there's an argument for like somebody who's 13th or 14th or honestly even 11th or 12th.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, I got cheated out of making the playoffs.
I would agree with that.
So it's too much. I think 12 is probably the max. I would have been okay with 10, honestly. But it just, I don't know. I don't think that like a 14-team playoff is conducive to anything.
What about you, Taylor? What's your initial reaction to this?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way she does. It's like, let 12 play out first. What if you really like 12 and then you go to 14 for a year and you hate it? Could you just go back to 12? You know, it's like, I feel like they're trying to do too much.
Well, no, you're not going to be able to do that because the reason why you're doing this is because you've agreed in principle to that new deal with ESPN that pays you $1.3 billion a year. Where right now you're making $600 million a year. But ESPN's saying, look, if y'all don't approve something, this deal's going to die. Like we're going to take it off the table and y'all are going to have to figure it out. So you are locked into these 14 teams for these 6 years after these next two.
I want to know the argument for a 14-team playoff.
So this is where it gets interesting. When I started this journey, I was right there with you.
Yeah.
Guys, it felt like too much. This is crazy. Under this setup, I believe the Big Ten and SEC get 3 auto bids in, and the other 2 conferences would get 2 auto bids, which puts us at 10 teams. And then I think you're going to have 3 at large, and then I guess the highest group of 5 team, right? So initially, I was kind of like, y'all like, what is this, dude? You're doing too much. Can't we just sit on 12 for a minute? Can't we just enjoy it? Like, this is crazy. Also, I think under this 14-team agreement, I can't remember exactly what the revenue split, but the Big Ten and the SEC would be getting more than the other conferences. Let's talk about getting into some of the pros. Does it make the regular season more interesting? Because one thing I do like about a 14-team playoff is it puts more emphasis on objective conference rankings than subjective opinions about who is better. Right? Like, if you finish top 3 in the SEC numerically, you automatically make the playoff.
Yeah.
Does that make the regular season more interesting when you'll have these teams playing conference games down the stretch that will be games that will decide you're in or you're out of the playoff, and we don't have to wait till Selection Sunday. Like, you know exactly what's going on the line going into it.
I think it does.
I feel like that's not a bad part of it, right?
Games, right? I mean, you're a team that's 8-3, you're on the 15 line, but you got a top 10 team on the road. You win that game. That's a big win for you. You're 9-3 now. Can you jump up into that top 14? You know, I mean, well,
you don't even have to jump into the top 14. You just have to finish 3rd in your conference.
Yeah,
I don't care if you lose every other conference game. If you go 6-2 or 5-3 with a tiebreaker or something, it's probably going to be 6-2. I would imagine the 3rd place team would be most times. You will go automatically. Now, well, no, I was going to say this just disincentivize good scheduling, but no, because conference schedules are what they are. You don't actually have any control of them. One thing I don't like about it it does take away a bit of the luster of a playoff spot. Instead of everybody competing for the one automatic bid, this one big thing that only one team gets, suddenly when you make it 3, well, then what's the point of it? And actually, probably my biggest problem with it is I think when you go to 14, that's when I feel like you have to get rid of conference championships.
Yeah.
In 12, it still makes sense. You're playing for 4 buys, and there's value in that buy game, right? And as I said, you're playing for an automatic bid. So you can be a team that's maybe not ranked that high, but you find your way to a conference championship. You win, well, you're automatically in. In 12's team setup, that's the highest you can go where conference championships make sense. Here, if I'm the top 2 teams in the Big Ten, why do I want to play another game if I'm already in, right? Why do I take that risk? And you can say, oh, well, maybe to get one of the 2 available buys. Yeah, but you may not even have that potential depending on where people are. So I don't love, I think that you probably have to get rid of conference championships. Here's the overall main point, though, right? These are all just kind of things I was bouncing back for, pros and cons. But I think a 14-team playoff, if you think it's participation trophy, you think it whatever it is, right? That was my initial reaction as well. What if a 14-team playoff is the only way to keep college football together in the short term? Because otherwise, like this setup in which the Big Ten and the SEC get more bids and more money is inherently unfair. But there's also enough by extending it to 14 to the Big 12 and the ACC and the Group of 5 to have them stick around as well and accept less revenue and everything. Like, it almost becomes a situation where it was starting to get painted as, well, y'all either do this 14-team playoff and agree to this unfair setup, or we're going to break off and we're going to go do our own thing. And while I think a Super League is likely inevitable, I kind of believe that this 14-team setup is the glue that will hold college football together as we know it just a little bit longer, even if it's a bit of a farce. And even if it's completely unfair to these other conferences for getting less money and less teams in automatically, at least you'll still have all of college football and it won't be full on NFL quite yet. So if that is that's where I actually landed with, where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm actually cool with this. I think you got to get rid of conference championships, but otherwise, I think this does make the regular season pretty exciting, pretty fun, and it keeps college football around for just a little bit longer before we move to some Uber conference, just NFL, complete NFL light.
Were you talking about keeping college football together? I agree with you because obviously it's not going to happen every year. The 3 at-large bids, they could be from 3 different conferences in 3 different seasons. But let's say the first year, SEC gets 3 automatic, Big Ten gets 3 automatic, and then the other 2 conferences get 2.
Yeah.
Let's say the other 2 are the highest bids go to those conferences. So now the top 4 conferences each have 3 teams apiece. Cool. I mean, you look at that and they're like, hey, wait a minute, I got just as big of a piece of pie as the rest of these guys do with these the top bids that are not automatic qualifiers.
No, it's unfair in terms of revenue distribution, and it's unfair in terms of auto bids. But then again, I mean, objectively, Big Ten and SEC are tougher conferences, so that makes sense. But it keeps you in the mix. I mean, if you're the Big 12 now, you got to be freaking hyped, dude. I mean, Utah, Arizona, Kansas is frisky now, Kansas State. Like, there's 2 automatic bids up for grabs. You can make the playoff. And I think, I'm excited that those conferences, those schools will still be relevant and will still be a part of college football going forward. So,
like a North Carolina, Duke, somebody like that in the ACC. You think, recent years it's Clemson and Florida State. One of those schools has a down year, you're right back in it. And you get, there's 3 other bids up for grabs, because you got the Group of 5, but there's 3 more out there. You have a good season. A North Carolina who never would have been in a 14 playoff. I mean, they could jump in there and make noise.
Well, and again, I do like objectivity over subjectivity. And for 10 spots to go to just teams that finished the best in their conference or the best conference records, I like that. That's earned on the field. That's super simple. So I hate it initially. I've come around to it. I don't hate the 14-team playoff anymore. So we'll see how it plays out over time, though. Coming up next is wrap up hour 2 of OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to K to Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com. You need window coverings that wow, you want K to Z. Get Brandon Barton in your home. And just when you get the estimate, you're going to be blown away by just how deep the wormhole goes in terms of the light interacting with your home, temperature control. Like Jake, Jake, for instance, he had that outdoor living space, right? He gets a screen that now goes down automatically at the touch of a button. Not only is it great for when you're outside, making it cooler, keeping glare off the TV, being able to cook out there and everything else, but it also helps inside. There's now suddenly no glare, it's cooler, et cetera, et cetera. So let Brandon come out of your home, whether it's a starter home or the home of your dreams, all price points. They got you at K to Z. Let him come out, let him bring your most important asset, your home, to the next level. K to Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Lebby for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that...
So join us for Friday's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Final thoughts as LSU gets set to face Mississippi State in baseball to start SEC play. We'll talk some football as well. It's Friday's AFR 3 to 6, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I'm
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Shoebang, I find it scary that ESPN is a bookie now and has even more incentive to influence what matchups are televised, how many games are played, and all that. I mean, we're so past the, what's it called? Not past the point of no return, but beyond the pale, maybe, you know.
The train has left the track.
Yeah, trains left the tracks.
All of that.
Beyond the Rubicon, you know, the die has been cast. Like, we're so past any of those concerns.
The die, I like that one.
Like, gambling's already taken over, right?
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And I don't think ESPN's going to sit here and influence matchups, but money as the influence, I mean, we were just talking about during the break, and actually I did an entire episode of Snaps yesterday. We didn't mean go for the whole episode. We were talking to Cole Kublik about it, and then it just kept going. But like, yeah, money is driving college football right now. And we were kind of talking about Nick Saban's comments and everything. And look, I don't think Saban's comments were hypocritical, because Saban never said that he thought it was wrong that the players only care about money. He just said it's not for him, because it's different than what he's been doing for 50 years. I don't find that very hard to understand. Like, if you do something for 50 years and suddenly it's this drastic difference, of course it's maybe not going to be for you anymore. He never said it was wrong for that to be your main motivation. But like, in terms of pay for play, that's where he maybe is wrong, when he's like, NIL is supposed to be about brand, not pay for play. Well, pay for play is here to stay because the market has spoken. The money has spoken, right? And the reason why we're moving to these expanded playoffs and everything else is to generate more revenue. It is the money. Now, interestingly, I think long-term, money wants very clear rules through which to operate. So I still think there are massive changes coming on the structure front of college football, in terms of like something like a players union that can be represented and reach something like a CBA, that maybe get something like the transfer portal under control. There'll be TV revenue sharing within that. Well, I don't have enough time to kind of finish this point, but yeah, there are, I guess the point is, you can complain about college football, but there are just much greater economic forces at play than any single person, single coach, single player can stand against. Hour 3 next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com. PECbuilt.com. You need fences, pergolas, bulkheads, outdoor kitchens, anything. You want to trust your project. The team of professionals over there at Pinnacle. Go look at you go on PECbuilt.com. You can see the video of the house that they just built and won a bunch of awards for in Ruzan. It's one of the coolest houses I've ever seen in my entire life. But what about pools? Pool season is right around the corner, and Pinnacle has spec pools ready to go for you. Now, this is not just everybody gets the same pool. There's different like templates that you choose from, and then there's different details within the templates that you choose. So you make it your pool, what you've always dreamed of. You can finance it, you can pay for it up front, you can work with them to figure that out. The best part, though, you go with it, in 2 weeks you have a pool. 2 weeks, y'all. Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com.
Bayou Ford has $7,500 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. $7,500 off plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Friday, March 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect rainy skies with a high of 82. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll talk some New Orleans Saints news, also some trade news around the NFL. And then after that, well, can't promise you where the show's going to go from there. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch them in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? T-Bob here, hour number 3. Jake out today. No Rivers today either, so no champagne shenanigans. Taylor did a good job laying out the hour. We got some really good comments coming in on kind of the Saban kind of future of college football front. Emil saying, seems pretty clear at this point that Nick felt like he was losing or had lost control over the players. He's an old man that views himself as a molder of men that was able to have kids follow him. For 50 years because he was their ticket to the NFL and a better life. He said before that he enjoyed college football more in the NFL because kids listen to him more than someone making $10 million in the NFL. Yeah, so I mean, look, I find all of Saban's comments to be very understandable. Save for, and you keep hearing this, and Dion says it, and all these cats say it, about how NIL is about to be, after you get on campus and you earn it and you build your brand. And Saban talked about Bryce Young building his brand and getting the Nissan sponsorship and blah, blah, blah. That you build your brand, you earn it, and then you get paid. And that's all well and good in a perfect utopian world where you have full control and you want to do what is just and what's right. But the market has clearly said differently, right? Like Bilbo said, I do think it's strange how much people are asking to be paid for coming to college when they haven't even seen live action in a college setting. That's my issue. Once you're in and proven, you can start asking for more money. The spirit of NIL. Again, the spirit, yes, but the reality, no. Your money talks so loud that I can't hear what you're saying. Like it's like when I think about how the NCAA is trying to get like a federal act of Congress passed to rein this stuff in. Why would a federal congressional representative go against what their own constituents and state representatives clearly want? I mean, again, I've never seen anything more bipartisan than the across the aisle cooperation in states all across the country in terms of making it easier for high school players to get paid, for collectives to give money to players that have never been paid. So you can tell me you don't like it. You can tell me all these things, but your actions speak differently. This is America. We let the markets operate. We let the markets decide. The invisible hand of Adam Smith and all that, right? Well, the invisible hand is giving a big middle finger to the NCAA, to the spirit of NIL, and to all of those other stuff, because the invisible hand is saying, no, we will pay. Maybe it stops. Maybe it corrects. Maybe it goes down a bit. But up to this point, it just keeps going up. People keep throwing more money in, and they keep showing that they're more and more willing to pay. And, I don't know how you ever control that. Yeah, okay, you say, oh, well, T-Bob, you do the CBA thing, right? Players have a union or something akin to a union, some body that can argue, negotiate on their behalf, and then they meet with like the college football playoff or whatever the ruling body is, and you come to an agreement. Okay, these are the rules that we're all going to operate under, and that'll involve the players getting a share of the TV revenue, and that will happen eventually because, again, like I was getting at the end of last hour, money wants clear lanes in which to make decisions, right? Like, it's the reason why Louisiana is very funny to look at. You have hundreds of tax breaks for big companies and corporations. Why don't we ever have new business coming here? Why are we deemed in the 40s in terms of desirability to operate your business in? And it's because you have so many tax breaks that nobody knows what the hell they're doing. It's a Swiss cheese tax code. It's too complicated. A company would rather go to a place where maybe there's a few less breaks, but it's clearer and I can better understand how to best operate within it, right? Well, in the same way in college football right now, eventually the money is going to want clearer lines in which to operate. So I think you're going to get there, and you're going to get to a CBA, union, TV revenue sharing. But again, how can you ever stop legally a local businessman from wanting to give $100,000 to a kid to tweet one thing to play football at his school? How can you stop that? That is not the American way. Trying to stop that. You can't. And so, like, even if you engage in revenue sharing, I still think that all NIL and advertising is still going to be there. Now, if you cut down on the portal, which you can do, like if you enter a CBA of sorts and you get back to limited transfer rules and you have something more akin to contracts that players are signing, that will cut down some NIL incentive. Because right now, because you can transfer unlimited times, everybody's always up for grabs, meaning you can always throw money at more players, right? So that is one way to take it. But I don't know that you're ever just going to be able to stop collectives or stop people from pay for play, because the market is showing you they don't want it stopped. And they're willing to, yeah, exactly, Graber, you can't cap NIL, only salary. Meal says players already make decisions on finances. It's just less explicit. Nick needs to grow up and stop acting like a child because everyone else has the same toys as him now. Again, I'm not faulting anyone who wants to go after Saban like that. I just don't think I see it the same way. I just don't find it hard at all. And certainly, yes, he's lost control of the players. The sport's got more competitive. That said, Alabama's probably as good set up as anyone for next year had he stayed, right? But like, I just don't find it hard to see why a man who has done things this way and been the most successful for 50 years suddenly at 72 years old doesn't want to do it anymore because it's so different. Like, I don't view him as a crybaby. I don't view him as taking his ball and going home, although a lot of people have been able to paint it that way. Again, I just think it's an old guy's like, you know what? It's like, again, they're going to try to feed my kids a lot of different foods. I make them taste it. And then if they say not for me, I'm generally like, okay, that's fine. I understand. And that's what Nick Saban did. He tasted it. He managed it as good, if not better than anyone else. But at the end of the day, he decided that it was not for him.
Yeah, I don't think he's a crybaby. I think it's like, and I don't mean this like in a bad way, but it's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, you know? And Nick Saban coached in a game that was the way it was for so long. Yeah. He's 70-something years old. I don't think it's wrong for him to be like, actually, I don't really like this. I'm out.
Well, not just that. Like y'all are talking about his age, and I think that might be the most important part of it. I mean, T-Bob, this is not the first time we've seen a coach say, "Look, I just want to coach football. I'm not worried about the NIL stuff." Like Chip Kelly left a head coaching job to go be an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So he could coach football. He didn't have to worry about all that other stuff. I mean, Saban's 70 years old. So when NIL first happened, Saban was 70 years old. So not only do you have to go recruit, and Saban recruits his ass off. He's better than anybody at it. You have to re-recruit your roster. You have to make sure all their deals are done. You have to do all this. Like, that's a lot for a guy that age. Not only is it a big change, but like those hours are grueling. Like, I think that's a big part of it as well. This happened so late in his career.
Yeah, Nick's not the only one saying this either. Like, he's not the only head coach that feels this way. So, I mean, I don't.
And so. And we can't lose sight of also when Nick says to him, like when he paints himself as a molder of men and says that player development and life development was at the core of everything he did. I mean, that's objectively true. Yeah. You talk to old LSU players. I mean, not even getting to all the millionaires that were made on the field, right? Not even getting to all the guys that end up going to the NFL or the fact that you were a 5-star and you committed to Nick Saban. You were something like 50% more likely to get drafted in the first round or something insane like that. Like, not getting just guys that had NFL success, but guys who played for Saban but didn't make it in the league, they talk about just how much he developed them and set them up for a successful life after football. So, yes, Nick's making a ton of money, but he's also doing what he kind of said he was doing. And so I don't think it's fair to paint him as being disingenuous when he talks about that being his motivating factor. Bilbo says you're delusional if you think Saban didn't think / know players he coached were getting paid / impermissible benefits for the last 20 years, but everybody's getting a little bit of it, right? It wasn't like, yes, there was cheating going on. It goes on everywhere. But it wasn't to the point where players sat down and said, okay, how much are you offering me? You know, like it wasn't to the point where the majority of guys are saying, look, I want $500K here.
Yeah.
It was not like that. So you can't really, you're playing a bit of an unfair game if you're trying to paint players being paid illegally over the past 20 years to how it is now. They're completely different. Bill Ball says you cannot say that Saban would have been at Bama for the last couple of years if he wasn't making almost $20 million a year. The stress would not have been worth any less than that. Again, Saban never said that the players being motivated by money was wrong. He's gone out of his way to say that it's not wrong. It's just not for him.
Are we really mad that a man was like getting paid for doing his job?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's easy to draw the hypocritical lines, right? Because he has made hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden players get paid, he's losing power, and he leaves. Those are very surface, in my opinion, surface level lines to draw.
Right.
Like, you know me, I love Lebby.
Going back to people that keep saying, oh, you don't think he was paying players already? Like, okay, so that argument just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it's just different. I mean, yeah.
Like, if he was already paying players, but now he doesn't want to, like, which one's true, you know?
Yeah, I think people are saying it's hypocritical because if you've been paying players and giving benefits, then like what's different now? But it is different.
It is.
It is vastly different.
If he doesn't like the entitlement of like, hey, of players being like, hey, set this up for me or I'm not going to come play, that's his prerogative. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think it makes him a crybaby either.
I agree. I mean, I agree with you. But even guys, you know, like I think Lebitard's one of the smartest people in this industry, and I love him. And he was going hard after Saban for the hypocrisy of making all of this money off of labor's back, and then suddenly labor starts to get a piece of the pie, and you're like, you know what, I'm out.
Like according to other, like if you're saying he was cheating the whole time, he was paying the laborers.
Yes, but I mean, not their market value, right? I mean, they were not. That's the difference now is that guys are finally getting their market value, and that's what's really changed things so much. The cheating thing, I mean, everybody missed me with that. Everybody's cheating, bruh.
No, I agree with you.
LSU
I put it in air quotes.
Yeah. LSU literally got caught funneling money from Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think people just like to hate on Nick Saban.
No, because that's like the biggest crybaby thing. They're like, well, he's not mad that players are getting paid. He's mad that the playing field is leveled and everyone's paying their players now. That's kind of been like, You saw that a couple years ago. That's kind of where the whole crybaby thing started.
But
People
I think
they're mad that everybody can do it. Yeah, but I mean, come on.
No, I think he did it better than everybody. I think he's legitimately more upset about where the players' motivations are compared to the past.
Well, he said it
Whereas
about NIL.
money was kind of the afterthought, where now it's it's at the forefront.
We said it about the transfer portal too. When that started, he warned against it. He's like, look, I don't like the transfer portal. I don't think it's a good deal. He goes, but if this is the way of the game, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it better than everyone else. And guess what? He kind of did.
Wait, did something happen with Billy Napier? No? Hold on, sorry. There's a comment. Let me go to Twitter real quick and see. Okay, no, never mind. All right, cool. Cheat to win, never get caught. That's a great philosophy. Yeah, I mean, hey, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Look, that was a good conversation, but it's also conversations kind of been had to death. Bilbo says Saban went to Congress. Basically said, "I'm quitting because I'm the only coach who isn't doing what all the other coaches are doing." That's not true. He did do it all. He never said that. Like I think you're being disingenuous with how you're painting his quotes. And the other thing that you can miss me with is some people are like kind of hit me with this like there's going to be like a brain drain on college football. It's going to be bad for the sport overall. What are you going to do? It's like, well, no, not really. It's the ship of Theseus, right? You replace all the planks. Is it still the original ship? It's kind of irrelevant because it sails on either way. And viewership's going to continue to go up. People are going to watch. Like, the only people who feel uber threatened by this is maybe like somebody who might lose their coach to the NFL, like a Kirby Smart or something. Like, whatever. Brian Kelly gets fed up with the modern setting. He wants to leave. We going to stop watching LSU football? No. All right. When we get back, we got a lot of nonsense to get to. Stuffed Balto, fart-ass Wolfgangus, rats eating marijuana in the New Orleans Police Department evidence room, John Rothstein, college basketball expert, in trouble on the home front, Mike Tyson kissing Hasbullah thinking he was a child.
The OTB group chat getting exposed.
and some of the best college athlete names in the entire country that you will see. All right, when we get back, more Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. The Reed's so nice, we do it twice. The minivan's so nice, I bought it twice, just different years. I got an 18 Sienna. I think it's like a 21 or 22. Can't remember what it is a hybrid, which is pretty badass. All those new Toyotas, if you get a hybrid, man, you save so much money on gas, and you still get to fill up at the gas pump, right? So you don't have to worry about like sitting there and charging your car. It's the best of both worlds. You get Toyota Care with every new Toyota, but you also get Toyota Care with your Toyota certified used vehicles, which means you get a great price and you have peace of mind on the ownership front afterwards. If you get into an accident, all makes and models are welcome at the All-Star Toyota Service Center. So bring your insurance claim in and you're good to go. You mentioned OTB, you get $100 towards that deductible, and they have a shuttle service that'll pick you up or drop you off and pick you up. It's the same day fix. They have rental cars right there on site. Just hit up Miss Lee's Sessions. Also Toyota Baton Rouge, also ToyotaBatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps. Your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Lebby for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Lebby a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The best.
One more time.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. Few different links to get to. Spin the wheel. Maybe just start randomly at this old Mike Tyson Hasbulla video. Now, this is from a while ago, and I guess Mike Tyson met Hasbulla, and he thought Hasbulla was a child.
I mean, to be fair.
Sorry.
No, I know, I get it, but do you have the video ready? Play the tape, and you'll see how deeply uncomfortable it becomes. And if you're watching at youtube.com/1045 by ESPN, understand that Hasbulla is a grown man. And then look at how Mike Tyson is touching and or handling this grown man, and it just, again, deeply, deeply uncomfortable. You can keep it playing without audio. We don't need audio on it. But if you're just listening on the radio, he takes Hasbulla into his arms as you would a child of that size, like a 2 or 3 year old child, and he's kind of like nipping at the nape of his neck.
Like kissing him.
Yes, like kissing him.
Tickle.
Like he's a little kid tickling.
The best part is,
and
like,
that is a
Hasbulla's
grown
actually
ass
enjoying it.
man.
He was laughing.
Well, that's just a tough spot to be in. I'm not going to say that he like really enjoyed that.
This is a 21-year-old man, by
That's
the
what
way.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of all your greatest insecurities, like, just really put out there on display.
I actually, when I first watched this, I thought this was the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight.
Which, by the way, have y'all seen the videos of Tyson training?
Yeah.
He looks pretty damn good, but he does kind of look 57. Like, not really, right? Like, not really compared to, like, a normal 57-year-old. But I don't know. I can't tell. Am I just being overly impressed with, like, these very short training snippets that I'm seeing? Or
Yeah, like, let's see
is
the
he
whole
really that
training
ready?
session.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's
like,
see the whole
how in shape does he look?
Yeah.
Is he able to keep up that insane energy?
Like, he's like, hey, record me for 3 seconds, and I'm going to go all out.
When he goes all out, it looks crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
like, it still looks tight.
Let's see after. Let's see how winded and out of shape he is after.
That's what I mean. Like, we'll immediately get to know what his conditioning level is going to be at that age.
The fight is really stupid, but
Who sent the fart ass tweet
I did.
in the group text yesterday?
this morning it was like one of the first things I saw this morning. I couldn't.
So
not
this is a great job by Alondra. This is a cool Twitter account too. I didn't realize this. It's called Actual Names, and all it is looking at silly names from throughout history. And according to the Hungary Catholic Church records, there was a guy named Fartass Wolfgangus, which is just simply incredible. In fact, Taylor, I might start calling you Fartass from now on.
Could you
your,
not?
Our own
your new
Fartass.
name is Fartass
Well,
Sharpgangus.
the problem is I went to school with 3 people with that name, so it might get a little confusing. It might get a little confusing for me.
Oh my God, dude. Also, like, kind of lost in the overwhelming nature of the first name, Wolfgangus.
Yeah.
Is like a pretty badass last
Yeah,
name.
like if you had any other first name, you'd be tough.
Fart ass doesn't help. No.
No.
And then somebody quote tweeted and saying, "Yo, is it cool my boy Fartass pulls up?" So good, dude.
That's what had me dead.
So good, dude. Oh man.
There was another one. I don't know. There was the OTB group chat was going off. It was on one. Oh, preserved Balto.
Yes. Now I didn't know if Taylor had the picture ready to go or not. I
just know we've been into the dog sledding
yes,
lately.
we talked a lot of dog sledding. We talked a lot of Iditarod. Well, Balto famously, he like made that run to deliver the medicine, save lives. That's where the Iditarod comes from. What I did not know and was not aware of is that yes, there is a where is my group chat on my computer? There it is. There is the preserved body of Balto. That made, the final 53-mile stretch through an Alaskan blizzard to deliver life-saving medicine to children. They have the body of Balto still on display, taxidermied. And look, when was Balto? How long ago was this?
I don't know.
Somebody look it up. We're talking about at least 50 years, right?
I'm looking it up.
Ooh, half wolf, half husky. Well, either way, he looks great, dude. He looks great.
That's not Balto.
That was a very good job.
Wait, that's not Balto?
No, that's not Balto.
No,
what do you
Balto
mean?
died in 1933.
They're gonna say it's Balto. I've seen the movie. Balto's gray. Now, granted, it was an animated movie, but that dog's brown.
Now,
1990
Taylor,
born?
if you actually want to dive into the thread there, right below, you see a picture of real Balto, and that is absolutely real Balto.
Yeah.
So
he was okay. Let's see. He was.
So you're telling me that body's 100 years old?
Yeah.
It still looks that good?
Yeah. They did a good job taxidermying it, or whatever the verb for that is.
Should we taxidermy humans? If you can get it this well, if there's like a really badass human?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should. Why don't we do that to Joe Burrow?
Yes, let's taxidermy Joe Burrow so we can always put him outside of Tiger Stadium. Now, granted, if this was outside, though, it wouldn't hold up under the elements.
Well, why don't
Maybe
we
put him like
in
inside
a
the arch or
cryo
something.
chamber?
Yes.
Like
cover him.
Yeah, cover him outside of
Taxidermy Joe Burrow, and it'll be like the Rose in Beauty and the Beast, covered by that glass dome. Just have him standing out front of Tiger Stadium, and then taxidermy one of the mics.
Yeah.
And maybe have him astride the mic.
I agree.
Look, we can
in front of the stadium.
taxidermy Joe Burrow, or hear me out, someone that's already died.
Well, I don't think we could taxidermy someone that's already dead because they're already like
Yeah,
probably
they're already
decaying.
You get their body.
They're probably
Balto's
decaying.
been taxidermy.
Yeah, bro, they taxidermied off
Right
the jump
away.
though,
Yeah.
right away. They didn't
Well, that's
wait.
what I'm saying. You got to
So
find
this
somebody
happened
who's
in
like recently
1925.
deceased.
It happened in 1925. Balto.
Damn.
Balto
So yeah,
kinda
so
looks like
that
my
dog's
dog,
100,
guys.
100 years old. What?
Balto kind of looks like my dog.
Really? Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
He looks a
actually.
little like Frankie.
I'm
yeah.
gonna pull up a picture.
Then again, Balto's half wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, so chill out, Frankie. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that ball smoke.
High Rats in New Orleans.
Gotta be so badass, taxidermy coach. Yeah.
Right.
Very legendary.
I think he'd be a good taxidermy, like
Candidate?
Yeah.
Yeah, skin would work well for sure. Ray Baker. Get him ready. Y'all ever heard the story of Hachiko? No.
Daniel Bloom in the chat says, how about you have to ask the dude who's going to be stuffed outside your stadium for all of time if he's down first? I mean, how is he going to know though if he's dead if we do it to him?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a
So
fair point.
Daniel.
We gotta vote on this.
Yeah.
Leave it in our hands. Leave it in OTB's hands. William Anthony, half
Right,
wolf,
like,
half
why are
husky,
we-
all badass. Yeah, I agree. Shout out
Yeah.
Balto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go Balto.
Hey, fart ass. On the other side of this break, I want to talk about the New Orleans PD. So have that ready to go. Okay. When we get back, more OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Wolfgangus. It's so funny to call someone that. Community Steel Company! CommunitySteelCo.com. You need steel. You want Community Steel. Okay? They're live. They're local. Right there in Gonzales, Louisiana. They buy directly from the wholesaler and they make everything there in their facilities on site. Meaning you get the best price because there's no middleman jacking it up on the back end like there's with these national companies. It also means you can go to Gonzales and you can touch, feel, see the product before you buy it. You can meet the live and local sales team, the owners. Figure out what Brandon Golson and the team can offer you and form relationships that will behoove your business. So support local business, support yourself, take advantage of great prices, take advantage of quality product, take advantage of Community Steel being right here in your own backyard. Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Everybody get up.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Hachiko. Avo says Hachiko was a dog in Japan that waited outside a subway station for his owner every day.
Stop. I feel like this is going to end sad.
And when the
have y'all
owner
never seen
died,
this movie?
he stayed outside the station for years till Hachiko, the dog, died, and they have a statue of him there.
Alondra, you've never seen the movie Hachi?
No.
No,
It's with
that's
Richard-
a lie. This
it's
is a
with
bit.
Richard
What are you-
Gere.
This is a bit you're doing. Stop
No. There was a movie called Hachi with Richard Gere, and it's based off of this.
Is Richard Gere the old Japanese man?
No, well, I mean, it's an American version of the
Oh,
story,
okay,
but
okay.
like, no, he's a professor at a college. The dog walks with him every day to school. And then like he walks him to the train station. Richard Gere takes it to the university. He has a massive heart attack, like in class.
Richard and the dog died?
Yeah.
No, and the dog doesn't know, so the dog meets him at the train station to pick him up.
Yeah.
And no, this is a true story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were doing a bit.
No, it's an awful movie.
Like it's an awful movie.
It's a
or
good
it's all
movie,
very
but
sad?
why would you do that to yourself?
That
And like,
makes
what?
me
Yeah.
so sad.
Good
That just
movie though.
Killed my vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Because Richard Gere and the dog died in that movie.
If Richard Gere was playing old Japanese man, hello. Speaking of Japanese, Shogun is so good, dude. Oof. I watched one episode tonight this week. So I'm on episode 4 now, coming up tonight, which I think will fully catch me up. But Shogun on FX, I would say worth the hype if you're looking for something to scratch that, violent political intrigue sort of itch that Game of Thrones used to scratch back in the day. It is really, really fantastic. All right, so and one of the other funnier headlines and sound bites that you're going to hear, here is NOPD Chief Ann Kirkpatrick talking about the offices of the NOPD.
The rats eating our marijuana, they're all high. The uncleanliness is off the charts, but it's even health issues such as mold in these buildings, rodent infestation. People shouldn't have to come to their office and see rodent drippings on their desk. That is not valuing your people. In the evidence property room, major rodents on the floor, the cockroaches, the rats eating our marijuana, they're all high.
Rats eating our marijuana, they're all high. Just a bunch of Ratatouille and the gang is just up there getting stoned to the bone at the NOPD headquarters. I actually ended up reading an article about this. Apparently they're saying the building's air conditioners are broken. The elevators don't work. Like, we wonder why there may be a bit of a policing problem in New Orleans, a bit of a recruitment problem.
I, for one, am shocked.
We got him working in places full of cockroaches and stoned rats. Although, I mean, ideally, I think I would rather hang out with a rat that's stoned than sober. Right?
Oh, 100%.
Stone rat probably just gonna like kind of lay down, lounge
Chill,
around,
yeah.
eat some cheese.
Do y'all remember the video that came out a couple years ago?
I want to know. Sorry, real quick. I want to know what's happening to the rats that are getting into the meth, because those are the ones you don't want to run
They
into.
moved to LP.
They're gonna have like a knife on your desk ready to fight you when you
They
get
moved
in.
to LP. We got a couple.
Classic.
No, there was a video that came out a couple years ago. It was a restaurant somewhere like, French Quarter, Bourbon Street area, like, one of the popular tourist places. And they were walking by at night, just a random person. The restaurant's closed and it had like big windows in front. And they saw these massive, like literally foot-long rats climbing on top of the table. And they videoed it and shared it to social media. And the place like shut down. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, they got a big problem down there.
I just love the quote. The rats eating the marijuana. They're all high.
They're all high.
They're so high. Ashley Megan says, LMAO, the rats cross-contaminate all the evidence. The defense attorney's going to have a field day with that news. Yeah, seriously, right? Could you argue that? Daniel Blunt, this is like a video game subplot. Yeah, this feels like something out of GTA. Daniel Basham, Splinter going to have the TMNT doing all sorts of things. So, yeah, probably, guys, let's get the police officers a building with working AC. It is Louisiana, after all, and elevators. I mean, maybe you're always going to have a couple rats. But ideally, maybe not the whole family just getting stoned to the bone every day and a bunch of cockroaches. I actually agree. There's probably, I'd be a little disincentivized to work if I had rat poop all over my desk when I came in. I'd be a little disappointed. But I wouldn't be as disappointed as John Rothstein's wife, who this is one of my favorite tweets I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure it's in jest, but it's funny none the same. So John Rothstein is, as he names himself, college basketball's hungriest insider. He hosts College Hoops Today podcast. He works for CBS Sports. I mean, he grinds college basketball. He tweeted, "Problems at home. Been so dialed in that my wife took our 6-month-old girl with her to a work trip on the West Coast. I hope they come back. But if they don't, dying on your sword is worth it when UConn and St. John is 24 hours away in Madison Square Garden. Remember, life is about choices." So John, putting his money where his mouth is, the hungriest college basketball insider, has decided to accept the departure of his 6-month-old child and wife in favor of UConn and St. John's. But of course, I mean, dude, you got, Pitino in there. Why wouldn't you?
Well, it's one of the historical matchups. I don't see anything wrong with it. Me and Victoria, we had a disagreement, if you will. We'll call it that. You see TikTok all the time. The wife's like, "Let me give you a hypothetical question." Well, Victoria thought that would be fun for us to do. And it was one of the NFL players was like, "Oh, I was late for kickoff because of the birth of my child," right? And she was like, "If that was you and I was having a baby, what would you do?" And my response, which I think was the most appropriate response, was, "Is it my first child?" Because if it's not my first child, probably play in the game instead. If it is my first child, I'll probably show up at least a little bit. I didn't see anything wrong with it. She disagreed, but that's just how it goes.
I think that's a bit. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on kind of the first child, not first child delineation, but
it's just I've seen it before at that point.
But are you going to leave? Are you going to want to tell one kid when they're older that you weren't there for them? But then, Golik's talked about this in the past, and he had to leave day of, and it was because that's how they made money, and that's how his wife kind of viewed it. So I think it's up to each couple. I would probably want to be.
You can always get another wife, and you can always have another kid.
True.
But can you watch?
Can you just get on another NFL team? No,
Right.
not necessarily.
Exactly.
Not necessarily.
Exactly.
I love the response to Rothstein tweets from Matt Grossenbach, who says, "Time to lock in, John, and stop thinking about them.
Yeah.
They're distractions." That's right, dude. It's March Madness, okay? It's March Madness. And it's time to get crazy.
Get crazy. Get wild. Oh, man, I love Jersey Shore.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show for what it was. Shout out Snooki.
Just love some trash TV.
I mean, for the most part, everybody went on to be very successful.
Yeah.
DJ Pauly D accomplished all his dreams, became a true Vegas DJ.
Yeah.
Not really.
He still does it.
Really, Mike though.
Situation went to jail,
yeah,
but
he did go
before
to
he went to
jail.
jail, he was making like millions a year and had written a
Because
book.
he was
Yeah, he wasn't paying taxes.
not
right?
paying taxes.
Oh, is that what the problem was?
Yeah, it was
yeah,
tax
gotta
evasion.
pay taxes.
So yeah, he was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I guess Ronnie and Sammy didn't really do
Ooh,
anything,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But Snooks built an empire.
Oh, yeah. Snooki and
JWoww was
JWoww.
at least, was there with her for much of
They had a
the
show
empire.
together.
And then what's his name?
Vinny.
Yeah,
Vinny.
Vinny's like always
He was
gotten
my
work.
fave.
He's always gotten work,
Yeah.
right? Throughout. Vinny had a little bit of sweetness to him.
Yes.
Although he was
I
trying to
loved
be
Vinny.
like the GTL boys.
Yeah.
Alondra with you can always get another wife.
You can.
Yeah, I mean, true.
You can.
True. All right, let's do this. Let's go to break, and we're actually going to have a very extended Ask the Bench when we get back.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, y'all, let's talk about trash. No, I don't mean Taylor. Though we are talking Livingston Parish and Ascension Parish, okay? So listen up, because if you live in LP or Ascension, you have a choice about who handles your trash. And you want to go with the local guys, Trash Rangers. It's a level of customer service and attention to detail, a reliability and efficiency that you don't get from these national companies that take the profits out of state but leave the trash here in Louisiana. Not the case of Trash Rangers. Those profits, those earnings, they're funneled back into the community through your local sports teams, churches, and all of those ways, taxes, all that. You've probably seen a lot of your neighbors with the red cans popping up. That's Trash Rangers. You go to trashsignup.com, and in 3 minutes, you see the number of cans, your pickup days, and the price. You can make the switch. And they text you the night before they come out so you never forget to put out the trash again. Trash Rangers, let's go.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Lebby for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about 6.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
In the movies, and I'm not proud of my address.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Wrapping up another week here on the show. A little Ask the Bench. Brought to you by Cold Coors Light. Visit our Tulsa Blue Moon Lot Sky. Citrus Sweet. Ask the Bench. Oh, and by the way, Taylor's dad. Your son is not trash. I actually like him dearly, and he's very good at his job.
And that was a really good joke, too.
Yes, and that was a great joke that you texted Taylor. Ask the Bench. What is your go-to drink going to be for St. Patrick's Day weekend? Green Coors Light. I'm just a green. I love green beer on St. Patty's Day. I'm very basic like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm doing
like
anything.
Irish whiskey,
Yeah.
right? Anything like Jameson, maybe a proper 12.
Probably a beer.
I've never
yeah.
actually had proper 12.
I never have either. I just know that's Conor McGregor's, and I know he's Irish, so that would work.
I'm not a whiskey gal.
I'm
not a brown liquor
Guinness
gal.
is Irish, right?
Guinness.
Guinness, yeah.
I think a Guinness could be had, along with Green Coors Light.
Yeah, that's why they call it an Irish car bomb.
Yeah, you're right.
I like Guinness.
I think I like it too. I think I've had it.
You never had it?
I think no, because I've done a car bomb before. So yeah, actually,
You should just sit there and drink one though, and see if you like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a right creamer that is. Ask the bench. Going to New Orleans with my wife for the Pels game and World War II Museum.
Ooh.
Where should I eat? Says Blake Carroll. Hell yeah, man. That's going to be a fun
Beanies.
case. First off, the World War II Museum, one of the greatest resources the state has. Top 10 in the entire world, museum-wise. It's incredible. Secondly, we didn't talk about the Pels. Massive game against the Clips tonight in the Smoothie King Center. Remember, you beat the hell out of them last time you played them. Probably the biggest win of the season thus far. Like we said, going into Cavs Clips, if you could take one of these two, I mean, you're 2 games behind the Clippers. You're 1 game up on the Suns and Kings. This is a really, really big game. And you're talking about the 6th best defense in the league going against the 3rd best offense. Flock up. Let's go Skeletons. I think we're probably getting the Skeletons unis as well. It's going down tonight, 7 p.m. in the Blender. Cannot wait. Where should you go eat?
Deanie's. I
Really?
love that
Deanie's?
place.
Deanie's?
So,
I mean,
man,
shout out Deanie's. Look, that's where old man used to do the postgame from.
Mandina's on Canal is great. It's easy in and out. It's not super far
true.
from the World War II Museum. If you want Asian food, Den's in on, I think it's a magazine. No, it's Decatur. Den's in on Decatur, some of the best Asian food I've ever had.
There's a pretty cool, like, Chinese-American fusion restaurant. I can't remember what it's called on magazine, like Bluefish or something. I don't know. You know, the thing is, I don't know that I'm super up to date on the New Orleans culinary scene.
Me either,
You know,
yeah.
it
That's why- I
changes
think that's
so
why I
much,
said
and I
Deanie's.
could have answered years ago, but I mean, Mandina's, you can't go wrong. That
Mandina's
is
is
an
delicious.
absolute classic for sure. And there's a lot of those, right? I mean, this is basically like Commanders. Commanders is always awesome. You get some turtle soup and whatnot. Dress a little nice. Ask the bench. Are we still all in this together? Like exactly 4 years ago? Yeah, for sure.
Is this a High School Musical reference?
I think it's the Coach O video of him like doing like the cough in your arm and all that was making the rounds.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he says, I didn't rewatch it, but I saw it making the rounds. I'm guessing he says like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Ask the bench, when we go back to the LSU Justin Bieber swoosh haircut? Probably never. Unfortunately, after my brother's wedding, I will be getting an F-boy fade.
Oof.
Yeah, which I'm not happy about.
I'm interested to see how this is gonna go.
T-Bob.
I don't want to. Whatever.
You got to go. Adam Fields backed me up in the chat. Den's in. I know you love your Asian food.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Gotta go.
Ask the bench, when doing a solo OTB, is it more calm or stressful knowing you're going to be the only one? Well, it's great having Alondra and Taylor because they're really good at talking and also great to bounce things off of. It's not. I don't view it as more or less stressful or calm. It's just different. It's just a little. You just maybe a little more prep. It's a smidge. Ask the bench, when is the OTB Rocket League tournament / OTB Pro Day happening? I don't know. Ask the bench, favorite walking around parade snack.
I don't know.
I love meat sticks. Love meat sticks, dude. Oof. Good beef steak with like a piece of string cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I met Gerald, who unfortunately now has an hour left. Crazy. But yeah, I was outside my apartment of a Nicholson, and I saw this cat walking by, and I had string cheese in my pocket, and on a whim, I fed him the cheese, and then decided I was going to take him home. And then I'll never forget my wife telling me, like, this is a big commitment. Like, we're going to, like, it was 09, sophomore. And she's like, we're going to, like, he's going to, like, see the birth of our kids and stuff. She's my girlfriend at the time. And I'm thinking in my head, like, kids? I mean, that's a long, what are you talking about? And I'm like, there's no way. That's crazy. And now, indeed, he saw our entire family. Moved us about 6 or 7 times. Shout out Joe. Been an awesome homie, dude. I'll be really sad here in a little bit. Ask the bench, will Alondra successfully complete her probationary period with the show?
I didn't even know I was on probation.
Yeah, I didn't know either. But yes, I'm here to say that she has officially passed it. So
Heck
congratulations,
yeah. Thank
Alondra.
you.
You are officially on board. Ask the bench, if you were going to take a quick, long weekend to the beach, where would you go?
That's an oxymoron.
Quick, long.
Yeah, quick, long. I don't know. I don't know the beach scene super well. I mean,
I don't either.
Floribama seemed pretty fun when I went there, and that's not that far.
Yeah, the Gulf Shores Orange Beach, it's 4 hours. I mean, most people will be like, Oh, Biloxi. Biloxi has things to do.
Like,
the beach itself's not great,
I don't
though.
want to go like the full. No, the Biloxi Beach. Is
Yeah,
not
like they're not
I don't want to
great.
go like either like the full like 10 hours to
4.5 to
Florida.
Gulf
Yeah.
Shores. Orange Beach is fine.
Yeah, I think Orange Beach. Ask Mitch, are we going to be on Survivor, The Challenge, or Big Brother? I've
Big
never
Brother.
seen
No,
Big
actually,
Brother.
the challenge, because it looks so much fun.
Survivor.
Yeah, The Challenge, you're doing a bunch of fun bits.
Yeah, and I want to meet Johnny Bananas.
Oh. Are him and CT still holding it down?
I have no idea.
Ask the bench, what Irish-inspired food will LTB eat this weekend? Probably maybe some sausage and cabbage.
Potatoes, right?
Potatoes, there you go, yeah. Ask the bench, even though not native to Ireland. We learned that yesterday.
Yeah.
Should more college baseball team welcome pitchers that are bi? Yeah, for sure. Of course, he's talking about Durangelo, who throws both left and right.
Yeah, I think that's super cool.
Ask the bench, T-Bob, when are you going to make your in-room debut for 225 Wrestling and attack Vladimir? That's true. I owe Vladimir for attacking me at that Rougarou game a couple of years ago. Sometime soon.
Wait, he's with 225 Wrestling?
Yeah, and I was hosting the Rougarou game, and I got clotheslined in the back out of nowhere.
Dang.
And taken out.
I'm really good friends with
Cheap
someone.
shot.
I'm really good friends with someone at 225 Wrestling, so we can set that up.
We're going to set it up. As to mention, clearly Frodo and Sam are exceptional hobbits. Are Merry and Pippin buffoons or just standard hobbits in intelligence? Well, I would also say, I think all hobbits have a bit more to offer than you think. I think that's kind of one of the themes of the movies and books. I mean, you look at Merry and Pippin. Merry was involved in the charge of the Rohirrim, right, and killing the Witch King of Angmar. Pippin helped in the defense of Minas Tirith, and got knighted, I believe, by Denethor. I don't know if he can knight as a steward of Gondor, but still, yeah, I don't know. I think they're all pretty exceptional. I think MMR is exceptional. I think MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the entire nation. And I think they've been headquartered in Baton Rouge right here for 30 years. They also have offices all over the globe. And so if you're looking to ignite your career and you want a dynamic culture, an exciting culture, you want exceptional benefits, you want to explore what MMR can offer you. And we're talking to everybody here. If you're a young man, you're a woman, you're a student seeking internship, MMR can provide you the pathway to do so. If you're just beginning your career or if you're a seasoned pro, there's also jobs to be had for you. So change your life for the better. Get into a career that will not only find deeply satisfying, but can take you potentially all over the globe with some of the coolest projects you could possibly fathom. You can check it all out at mmrgrp.com and go ahead and apply now at mmrgrp.com. Bro, you have a timer, put in the GK. Yeah, man, that's how it works, right? You got to bring into the vet, so yeah. All right, we love you, and we'll see you on Monday. Go Tigers, beat State.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice